That should do it. Okay, let's see if that did it. There it goes. Now it's gone. Okay. All right, Darth and Zeno and Pseudo should be up now. You got it. And thank you for your service, Pseudo V Science. We here. Hell, it's real. And evidence of that. And it's for eternity. What's your evidence of that? Where is hell? Brain surgery patient and former atheist would love to talk about this. Well, come on up and request up as a guest. Yep, be patient, Jonathan. We'll get to you. Like, for example, the lungs are shaped like tree roots, breasts like flowers, and many more. Okay, that doesn't prove God in any way. I don't see the option. You see a pink and blue icon, a pink and blue people icon at the bottom of your phone screen. Tap that and you will request up. And there's a dragon. So CL Farron, you have a coupon for an early kick poll. Yeah, you can apply anytime. Just yell early kick poll in the chat somewhere. So nice. And once you do that, we will just start the kick poll no matter at what point the guest is on. What flowers are theists looking at? Exactly, Dan Blackroyd. No, cannot pray for me. We all believe the air is real. The air is real. We have evidence of that. We don't see the particles. We can measure the particles. So explain to me how we can measure God. We can measure particles. We can detect air. Doesn't fly. Sir Isaac Newton created calculus, discovered the laws of gravity, still current turn to God. Doesn't mean God is real. Has nothing to do with that. So you said the universe came from the same place as my God, so they're sort of in mission. Well, if you believe your God always existed, the universe always existed. Why can't the universe always exist? There's no factual way to prove God is real. What's the point of this conversation? Then why believe it? There's no reason to believe it then. If you can't prove that God is real, there's no reason to believe it. So we should just stop believing it. All right, let's bring up Jonathan, first guest. How's it going, Jonathan?
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well. Can I get your age and pronouns, please?
38 and he, him's fine.
All right. And which God do you believe in?
I believe in God and Jesus and the Trinity.
Fantastic. All right. What's your best evidence God is real?
Well, I didn't really want to have a debate on evidence right now. I watched your stream yesterday, and you guys were talking about a specific Bible verse, 1 Samuel 15:3, and I do have a critique on the way that you display these texts and these scriptures.
I don't want to hear critique. I want to hear evidence.
Okay,
so,
well,
do you have evidence? If not, I'll move on to the next guest.
Well, I just want to critique your way of interpreting text.
Okay, I just said I don't want to hear critique. I want to hear evidence.
Yeah, because you're wrong, and you don't want to.
Do you have evidence?
You're wrong.
All right. We'll just move on to the next guest. So that was quick. So I assume people can read what is above my head, right? So if it says, "What is your best evidence God is real?" you implicitly agree to answer that question when you request up in the guest queue, right? So this is what I mean by Christians do not have boundaries. They do not understand boundaries, and 1 Samuel 15 verse 3 is an indicator of that, because if they think their God can just kill people whenever he wants, they think they can do whatever they want. And Jonathan was an example of that. Jonathan doesn't care what it says up here. He just wants to do what he wants to do. Look, what you can do, Jonathan, you can start your own live and you can critique me all you want. So we're going to talk about evidence God is real. That's what we're here to talk about. All right. So let's respect boundaries and answer the question. All right, let's go for the next guest. So again, if you are in the guest queue, please be at least 18, a believer in the God of the Bible, the Torah, the Quran, or minimum a mind that created the universe, and then have evidence that God is real. Kooky Plums, how you doing?
Great. How are you? I'm
Yeah, doing well.
36.
All right.
Just to give you like a 2-second background here.
Oh,
Raised
which
in the
pronouns
Catholic
do you
faith.
prefer to use?
He, him. Thank you for asking. So I was raised in the Catholic faith,
Same
lived
here.
most of my life and well into my adulthood as an atheist. And 2 years ago had a very invasive craniotomy. And so my evidence, to directly answer your prompt, centers on my experience leading up to that surgery and during the post-operation recovery period.
Okay. Now, which God do you believe in now?
I'm glad you asked that. That's where I was going next. So I do not subscribe to monotheistic God or Judeo-Christian God, despite my upbringing. I don't know that I believe in. So I disclaimed monotheism. I don't believe in that. I do, though, in my newfound belief system, which I can talk about how I got there if you'd like. It relates to the evidence, obviously. I do believe that there is something, and what it is benevolent, omnipotent. So that all those characteristics that most people, ascribe to their God.
Yeah.
Okay. So am I the right kind of theist for you to have this conversation with? You happy so far to continue?
Do you believe in a mind that created the universe?
So that's where I get hung up on mind. Like in my construction of, I don't even like to use the word God, but in my construction of, whatever you want to call it, the one or the underlying designer, or I do believe that there's an intelligence there. I don't go so far as to call it God necessarily.
So I think everything we know about our reality is that intelligence comes from a mind, right? So that sounds
fair,
like
and I can,
it sounds like you
want
believe
to
in a
go
mind that
philosophically.
created the universe.
I can agree to your likely definition of mind here in the strict philosophical sense, as the thing from which born out is intelligence and design. I agree with that.
That works. Okay.
So
that works.
So be it that I have a conception of God that you would like to, talk about. I want to just cite quickly to what the individual pieces of evidence are for me. So I had my last remaining grandparent pass shortly before I underwent the surgery. And I had about a 2-week period after her passing and before my surgery, during which I can't possibly explain to you my experience other than by feeling compelled or forced to step back over the line of atheism into now what I really call agnosticism. So I'm not the most devout of a person, but
that's cool.
What my experience was so undeniable that, and this is kind of like a mantra that I say to myself, and I also like to say to people with whom I have this sort of conversation or debate with. I think that to be a good atheist, at a minimum, you have to be agnostic.
Okay.
So, and that's really, in my mind, grounded in logic, not faith-based propositions, really, because it's, and I'm not trying to debate your worldview. I'm just giving you foundation, and then going to talk about the
just to let
items
you know,
of evidence.
Well, I'm an agnostic atheist. So.
Oh, you are? Okay, great. So some people seem so devoutly atheist that I really do think it runs afoul of logic on just the face of it.
Yeah, that's a different discussion for another day. But
Fair.
You're talking to me, so I'm an agnostic atheist. I don't know if any gods exist for sure, but I don't believe that any.
Right.
Do.
So you accept that you accept personally that just because it can't be proven doesn't mean that it can't be disproved either.
Yeah, just like in my wife's drawer, I don't know exactly what's in my wife's drawer, but I don't believe there's a pew pew in her drawer. All right. I don't know for sure, but I don't know if there's a pew pew in her drawer, but I don't believe there is. Same thing. I'm
Yeah, but
about 99% sure there's not a pew pew in her drawer, but
I don't think that's an apples to apples comparison because you could walk up to the drawer. But I can, in
it's
a
something
vacuum,
like
understand
that,
the
yeah.
analogy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, here's a better comparison. I've been trying to use different analogies, so maybe that one didn't hit, but here's a better one. I don't know whether or not little blue men live inside of Venus, but
I've heard
I don't
this.
believe that little blue men live inside of Venus. Is that better?
That's much better. Yes,
That
that
is.
sounds apples to apples.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's my that's my
Sure.
mental state about God.
So let me give you a quick just overview. I'm not going to cite every singular example to you, but I want to at least characterize them for you.
Okay.
Like I said, leading up to the surgery and after, I said that there were things that I can't possibly explain other than to have found myself feeling compelled to have a change in my worldview or whatever, belief system, whatever. But really, the very first one was, I was spending the time leading up to the surgery, watching home videos, spending it with the people you love, because
Okay.
it's not a guarantee you make it, right?
All right.
Now, I recognize that my emotionally raw state might have made me more aware and paying attention, but I still believe that even granting that the things that happened would not have happened regardless. So, for example, I'd go to a park, I'd play chess with my father, and on this one particular day at this park that is one that I have gone to more times than I can even estimate for you.
I apologize. I got to pause you for a second because we have
Sure.
to do something chat related. I'm going to pause your timer because look, everybody, it's King Hammy of Hamelot who's here. And so it's time for a reading. And how are you, King Hammy of Hamelot?
I am doing well today, Trust. How are you today, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. Happy Wednesday to you. So I got to pull up your entrance music here. So in case you guys don't know, this is what we do. Every time Hammy comes in, it is a law in this chat that we play that we play some entrance music, and Hammy has to have a reading for us. So that's what we're doing. There it is. All right. Let's do the entrance music. All right. What do you have for us today, Hammy?
I turned to a random page in the novel 1984.
I love random pages.
Love random pages. And
No, JLH, we don't stand. It's not law. Now, if somebody wants to offer a referendum to amend the current law to make us stand when we play the entrance music, so please do it, and we can vote on it.
Yes, we can vote on whether or not everyone has to stand. But this here is a random page from the novel 1984. And I'll start at the top here, and it says, "It was the lonely hour of 15. Winston could not now remember how he had come to be in the cafe at such a time. The place was almost empty. A tiny music was trickling from the telescreens. The three men sat in their corner almost motionless, never speaking. Uncommanded, the waiter brought fresh glasses of gin. There was a chessboard on the table beside them, with the pieces set out but no game started. And then, for perhaps half a minute in all, something happened to the telescreens. The tune that they were playing changed, and the tone of the music changed too. There came into it, but it was something hard to describe. It was a peculiar, cracked, braying, jeering note. In his mind, Winston called it a yellow note. And then a voice from the telescreen was singing, 'Under the spreading chestnut tree, I sold you and you sold me. There lie they and here lie we, under the spreading chestnut tree.'" And I think that's where we will end that.
We will end that for today. Thank you, Hammy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you. Okay, we have followed the decree that everybody voted on. So, all right, we can continue on. Thank you for your patience, Kooky Plums. So let's continue on with the discussion. All right. So where were we, if you remember? I don't
Sure,
quite
I
remember
do.
where we were.
Thank
Okay.
you for asking. I was in a park playing chess with my father, park I go to all the time.
Mm-hmm.
This is in, let's call it 6-7 days leading up to the brain surgery. And I did disclaim that perhaps due to an emotional raw state that, my psyche may have been in a atypical place, but still what physically presented was undeniable. So I am in this park playing chess and I witness a swan come out of the, and my mother was there too. It's my parents and me while my father and I are playing chess over this park bench table. And the swan comes up out of the lake, walks in our direction, and I immediately noticed I've never seen a bird like that. And it was white. It wasn't it was eerily white. And it walked out of the lake, and I immediately noticed it because it was not any bird that I have ever seen before in this park.
Mm-hmm.
It walks in a straight line to me, comes up to me, puts its head on my knee, rests its head on my knee, and looks up into my eyes and continues to lock eyes with me for a minute to 2 minutes. And in that moment, I could sense how awestruck my parents were too. And them having always been respectful of my former atheism. So this was not, a parental opinion being baked or, loaded onto me. This was undeniably a real world physical experience I was having. And in that moment, my mother said to me, "You know who that is, don't you?" And I couldn't help but to immediately know the answer. And I guess part of me also kind of sensed it as it was happening before she said that it was my grandmother or some deceased relative or someone. I can't say, but it absolutely, unequivocally, I believe at least, was someone reaching through to me.
Okay.
And that's one example.
Okay. All right.
For which there were witnesses, and I have never experienced in my life before. And I don't know if that's like a mating practice of swans. I tried my best to Google this and read about it, and I could not find anything that would explain the experience.
Okay.
Other than it being something otherworldly or so out of the ordinary that it brought me to the compulsion to change my worldview.
I got you.
Or can I make a suggestion?
Sure. And that's not the only example, but I would welcome any commentary. Is my time paused, or am I lending my time to Hammy?
No.
Well, it's part of the discussion. Yeah, it's part of it. Yeah.
I'm just asking, or it could be just a friendly swan.
Okay, fair. But then now I would say, but see all other examples. And
Okay. So,
because I would agree with you. Like if you take the one example in a vacuum, could there be some possible explanation in the physical world devoid of an intelligent mind that would explain how I came to have that experience? I can grant that and operate on that assumption. But then you go forward into the next experience, which is yeah. I mean, I guess to some extent you could say, Hammy could give that response to every example that I cite. And I don't want to bog down the discussion with these highly fact-specific examples, which I hope you trust me that I could give. But I want to ask the question now, is there a point at which there can be so many of those experiences, seemingly inexplicable, that you trust or Hammy would agree, well, now that's a bit curious and even suspicious, and therefore maybe there is something more to that than humanity can explain or even,
Well, then I guess I don't deny that you had the experiences. Okay. And yeah, these are interesting. I'm not gonna, I won't lie about that. I think the thing we need to kind of look at though is how would we be able to test
Right. So
if this
the
was
scientific method is what you're looking at here.
yeah, how would we be, or just any way to test it? Like, how would we
I
be able
think-
to test whether it was like what
I
you
don't
say
think it would
it's
be
something
far-fetched.
otherworldly, or if it's happy
Yeah, I
coincidence,
don't think-
or like what Hammy said, friendly swans? Like, how would we
If
be
you
able to
accept
test
the
that?
conclusion that there's an intelligent mind or some intentional mind, is probably a more fair, abstract way of putting it.
Well,
I don't like using the word intelligence, but like when I say mind or an intentional mind, I mean like a
If you
mind
accept
that
the conclusion.
created.
If-
Yes. So
yeah.
If you accept that conclusion, and
Okay,
I'm
if
asking you to
you
assume.
accept it.
Yes, correct. It's a premise of the argument here, but
I
but-
still don't see if it would. I'm
Well,
still
hold-
not sure it would get this that far either, because then you would
Hey,
have to
well-
ask, well, then why would a mind do that? You know, why would an
Well-
intelligent mind facilitate something?
Okay, let me
like
ask you
that?
this question: Do you
Why would
believe
it-
that there are things that are repeatable and observable, but which science cannot explain, or that, at least as we know at present, the best scientific explanation cannot explain?
As far as I know, not something we can, like, in terms of repeatable, not that it happens more than once, but that we can reproduce it, if that makes
Would you
sense.
concede it does? Would you concede that if there is some, we'll just mind, we'll call it mind with a capital M, okay?
If.
Right. If their
Okay.
mind, I'm asking you to assume that for the sake of my question here.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Upon that assumption, would you concede that it is possible that that mind, in perhaps having the ability to intelligently design the universe and the world, might have intended for it not to have been discoverable or explainable through the scientific method?
Possible, then we would have to ask why. And then
Fair.
we'd have to ask why. And then we would have to then wonder, not only that, why would an intelligent mind use that type of mechanism to communicate with you? Like, why couldn't the mind just communicate with you directly? Why couldn't it just, there's
So
like all these
respectfully,
other
I don't think that
ways.
I in my worldview have to get to answering those questions to have a well-founded. Look, again, I'm not a theist. I am not of
Right.
any sort.
Right,
I am
right,
just
right.
agnostic. Okay, but
Yeah.
I don't think that in me getting to my agnosticism that I need to come up with those answers to the questions you just
Oh no,
last
I
posited.
hear that. I think the point
Yeah.
I'm getting to is that what you're offering us is unfalsifiable. We can't. There's no way for us to determine if it came from an intelligent mind, or if it was coincidence, or if what Hammy said, it was swans really liking you. What if swans just dig you? You know what I mean? And I know this is the one.
Just don't take
incident
the
you
one example in a
described.
vacuum. Just,
Yeah.
just assume
I'm
that
not.
there's a
I'm
set of
not.
examples I could cite factually.
We'll just set it.
that,
Okay, we'll
yeah.
do a set of examples, and we'll just say, how can we determine if it was happy coincidence versus an intelligent mind?
and I'm like, my biggest question is if this is me, right, and all of these things are happening to me, my question is, why would a mind that created everything, that had the time, like spent the time to create the universe around me, every individual person, plant, animal, everything, and still decides, let me throw all these random things at me in order for me to
I can come up
this
with multiple
vague
hypothetical
discussion.
answers to that question. For example, and this is one that I've heard in my Catholic upbringing, but with which I don't presently sit well with or agree with, but I'm sure all of us at some point has heard one form of it or another, that, well, it wouldn't be called faith unless you fundamentally understood what it was to have faith. And so in that sense, it's like a test of some sort. So that's one hypothetical answer to your question.
I would
And
ask for a different one because I don't really care for the faith argument. And it's
I
just
know, I agree.
because-
And I did preface my hypothetical answer by saying that it's not one with which I easily, or actually I don't at all agree with, really. But okay, if I'm going to give you an answer that is a hypothetical one, but probably sits most well with me, then it would probably be, there's some test, not necessarily, because the question is, well, for what purpose then would this design be so? And if you are the person who believes that you have to have an answer to that why in order to get to the ultimate conclusion, then one of the whys I think could be very easily that there, only people, and I don't believe in an objective morality, but I can't preclude that if there is a mind that mind would have one or not, or whatever, or actually be capable of making the world such that there is an objective morality, whatever. I do believe that there is such a thing as virtues and things that humans overwhelmingly agree to be of virtue. And I do think that people who are less virtuous and observe fewer or no virtues are people who are not, who don't ultimately become privy by whatever means they become privy. So,
Okay.
so it's not really, it's kind of like a corollary of the faith. Well, for what purpose call it faith other than to have it?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
This one, are you saying that you are more virtuous than, say, Trust or I?
No, and I'm not anyone to say that. But if there is a mind, I'm not anyone, clearly I'm not of the same capacity to bring into existence a universe of my own design. And if you accept the conclusion that there is some mind that in fact did that, then again, you have to assume the conclusion, obviously. But if you do assume the conclusion, then it's not that much. It's not that much of a leap in logic, if at all, to think that person then also has the power then to define whatever test and whatever prerogative that mind has. So I'm not in bringing this theory to you, ascribing virtue to myself, or saying that other people are less worthy or deserving. I'm sorry, it's muted. I don't know if I can't hear you.
Sorry, you got to admit, it is a huge leap, though, because you're asking us to take the leap with you.
Yeah, that's why I called it a leap. Yes, but I think that if you do accept that conclusion, though, that it's not an unduly large leap to make. So can I ask, hang on, I want to ask you as the host, because you have this construction of good evidence is one that is found by the scientific method and is replicable and reviewable. I don't want to assume
one way
what
to
your
do it, but
worldview is, but I'm asking.
Well,
it.
let
Sure.
me tighten it up so you understand where
Sure.
I'm coming from. I take this position. Evidence is something that increases the probability of an assertion to be true, right? So that's what I'm looking for. Something that increases
Sorry,
the
hit me
probability.
with it one more time.
It's something that increases the probability of an assertion to be true. So you're making an assertion here, right? And so when I'm asking you, well, I'm asking for your evidence of that. What I'm looking for is something that increases the probability of it being true. And if we
Would
have
you
to
append to
assume,
your definition that it be something that people are also,
well, it just
that
increases
some
the probability of
cross-section of-
something being true. Yeah, that's it.
right? But implicit in that is this additional condition that it's something that more than any singular person is capable of observing. Would you agree to that?
No, because then we're drifting into unfalsifiability, and then it looks less and less like evidence.
So then
and then we have to.
True.
It
can
could
be true that a singular person could, as I'm understanding you, it could be true that a singular person could have a set of experiences sufficient or that's worthy of the definition you just set forth.
Well, then if that's the case, then if I come upon a person, because I've met atheists who have experiences that tell them no gods exist. No gods. No.
I would love to know an example. If you don't mind
nothing
sharing.
metaphysical. Well, you'd have to talk to them, but they've said that. I've had experiences that tell me nothing metaphysical exists. Okay, well then if we go by that, and if we just accept their assumptions, then we're just going to have to accept what they say is true, right?
I mean,
Because it goes both ways, right?
It does.
There you
Look,
go.
a person's own belief system is their
And so
prerogative, but
we're
to the
back at
extent
square
that you're
one.
asking other people to
Absolutely.
believe
And
it,
I'm
then-
not and
yeah.
I'm not telling you don't believe this or don't believe that. I'm not saying that at all.
No, I know you're not. That's not how I'm taking
trying
it.
to I'm trying to believe what you believe. That's what I'm trying to do. That's why I'm asking for evidence. I'm trying to get
Yeah,
on
I'm
board
not
with
trying to
what
make a
you're doing.
conversion here.
Oh no, I know you're not. I'm trying to believe what you believe. I know you're not trying to convert me. I'm trying to believe you. You see what I mean?
I do.
Yeah, so that's why my name's Trust But Verify. I'm on board with this with you. I'm trying to get to the verify part. And so that's what I mean is that if that were the case, if we're going to use your framework, then the opposite is going to be true as well, and we can't have that, right? So we have to have some way of verifying all this. And so if I can't verify it, I'm
But then
afraid
you're
I'm just going to have to
you're
have to suspend
contradicting
it.
fair, but I do think in you saying what you just said that you're contradicting a premise that if I'm recalling correctly, it seemed that you might have been on board with earlier when I asked, assuming that there is, granted, the assumption is
an
that there is a
assumption.
mind, yes, but if there is one, then it could be the case.
I granted
I'm not only asking you to.
I granted
There you go.
possibility.
I'm only asking you to. Right. I'm only asking you
and
to.
I'm not
acknowledge
dismissing
a possibility,
possibility at all. I'm not dismissing
Okay.
possibility. All I'm saying
Sure, but I know
is-
it's not definitive. I know that.
There we go. That's
Yeah.
all. Well, let me ask you this then. How confident are you that this is true? Like scale of 0 to 100, 100 being absolutely sure, no doubt.
When I beyond any reasonable doubt.
Okay,
And
beyond
just-
any
so-
reasonable doubt. Okay.
Yeah, I am a BA of philosophy and have a JD. So I
got
am
you.
somebody who came from a background that is versed enough to be able to talk about these things, I would
Oh,
say,
well,
at
if you
least
have a
from an academic
JD
standpoint.
Yeah, I got you. Then if you have a JD, then you know there's more to evidence than just scientific,
Oh,
right?
Yes,
There's
I
all
do.
kinds of
The
different types of
reliability,
evidence.
dishes of
Yeah,
reliability.
absolutely.
It's a whole host of things. It's
Yeah. Okay.
And I would say that that's all good practice too, and that's even
All right.
practice that I would subscribe to.
Okay, so then if we take this from the perspective of a court of law, right? And
Okay.
you have a witness who is giving personal testimony of what they saw and heard, right? How good is that evidence if we can't verify it to be true?
Rules of evidence are crafted because of what is known as the human experience. And if you punch into Google what's the sort of legalese phrase, indicia of reliability,
Uh-huh.
rules of evidence are drafted around numerous indicia of reliability.
Mm-hmm. Indicia,
one
that's
example-
like that comes, I think the word indicator comes from that.
Indicator, correct.
Mhm.
Yes. So one example to talk about a specific example in the context of rules of evidence in a court of law. Okay. If I'm on the street and I watch a pedestrian get plowed over by a car, and immediately upon observing it, I go, "Oh my God, that car just hit that pedestrian." That is admissible in a court of law because
Of course.
generally as a society, we accept that a person who exclaims what they just witnessed under, and the legal standard is the stress of the moment,
Mm-hmm.
that we can, it's not that as they've reported it is 100% true in terms of like verbatim how they expressed it, but we can at least accept some baseline truth in what they've said, therefore
Got it.
deemed admissible.
Can we stress
For the
test
jury
that a little
review.
bit? Okay. So
Sure,
can we?
by all
So
means.
if instead of a car plowing the pedestrian over, what if it was a flying monkey picked it up by its feet and flew off with it, flew off with the pedestrian? Then does that meet a reliable standard of evidence? So we have a case of a missing person. Let's say it's a grand jury investigation. It's a case of a missing person, and the witness testifies, "Yeah, I saw a flying monkey come swoop in, pick up the pedestrian, and fly off with the flying monkey." Now, does that meet the indicia of testimony, of reliability?
If you had an attorney who made the argument that it should come into the record under an
Admissibility.
exception
Yeah.
to the rule against hearsay, which is
Yeah,
in
let's
this
just
case,
say
we're
it's
talking
direct. It's
excited
direct
utterance. So
evidence.
that-
It's direct
correct.
testimony. The person
Well,
saying,
no,
"I saw
if
this,"
it's
not my friend told me,
hang on,
but
are
I
you?
saw it. Yeah, it's a
It's
direct
it's not.
eyewitness.
It's not. So let's hang on. I have to add another condition here. It's
Okay.
not that the person who saw it is the witness on the stand. It's that the witness on the stand observed someone proclaim or exclaim, "I just saw that flying monkey pick up the decedent
Oh,
or the
well,
dead person."
that would be hearsay, right? And that would not be
No.
admissible.
Oh, so hello. Hang on. Sorry. I didn't mean to say hello. I said hold on. Okay. So, yes, hearsay is an out of court statement coming in to prove the truth of the matter asserted in the statement.
Right.
Okay. So, the default rule is that hearsay is to be excluded unless and until it satisfies some exception to that default rule.
Correct.
Here,
Correct.
the exception to the default rule is the excited utterance exception.
Okay. Well, what I mean
Okay.
is that the person is exclaiming, "I saw this directly with my own eyes," and so
It has no indicia of reliability if the first point in time, T1, that person makes that statement is on the witness stand. It only comes in under the exception if T1 is the moment in which the moment of exclamation was with temporal proximity to the incident of the flying monkey coming in and picking the now absent person up and away.
okay.
It's the indicia of reliability exists because that person in that moment and observing it happened to make the exclamation, "I just saw that monkey pick that person up." So now if accepting all of these things as the premises of the argument and assuming too that you have some attorney who is going to make that argument despite how fantastical it might sound, okay, you would have opposing counsel likely object to it on the basis that that sounds like a crock of bullshit, and I'm giving you the honest answer.
Oh,
truly,
I know.
you
No, it's
so-
just funny the way you said it. No,
and
that's all I'm
by
saying.
the way, I am a litigator, and I have litigated both sides, and on this
Yeah.
very issue too. So
Flying monkeys, really? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No,
Something
yes, just the excited
something
utterance exception
extraordinary,
in general.
right? Something
Yes,
extraordinary.
so-
Okay, gotcha.
I would even say extraordinary, yes, because it's to be able to admit into the record
Okay.
the statement as properly being
Start.
heard by the jury to prove the truth of the matter. In other words, that in fact a flying monkey picked up this person and abducted them. The opposing counsel's argument would be that even if the judge is of the opinion that it meets the exception to the rule against hearsay, the excited utterance exception, that for the jury to hear it, it would be unduly prejudicial.
Okay.
Because so in that sense, the legal examples here are confounded. So it's not apples to apples, and I can fairly call the
Okay.
you know
It's not
the-
quite apples to apples. I think what I'm getting at though is this is the point I'm getting at. You're right. It's not quite apples to apples. What I'm saying though is that it's the nature of the evidence. It's extraordinary. So do you think that would cause the opposing counsel to push back on that? Is it because of that?
I'm sorry, could you ask the question one more time?
Yeah. Is it because of the extraordinary nature of the testimony? Do you think that would cause the opposing counsel to say, "Hey"?
Yes, because the status quo of society at the time,
Okay.
presumably, is that it is so exceptional or fantastical thinking that
Gotcha.
that the status quo at the time of society doesn't accept that as something in the realm of possibility.
Perfect. And that's my point. Because what you're telling us is extraordinary. That's all I'm saying. It's an extraordinary claim.
Granted, yes.
Yeah, it's extraordinary claim. That's all. And so that's why I'm asking you, well, I need more than just, "Hey, rock with me for a second, trust me, bro. Just assume that there's this God out there that I'm telling you about. Now, do you think that this is true?" You see what I'm saying? It's a tough sell. That's all I'm saying. I'm not discounting what you experienced. I'm not discounting that it happened. I'm just saying it's hard for me to pick up an extraordinary claim like that and then just
Like the
believe
swan
it.
pudding is fair, and here
Yeah,
this
it's tough
your
for me to
flying
believe
monkey is I believe rightly equivalent to the swan.
and
putting
that's
it-
all I
or
mean, that's
rather
in its
that
equivalence.
The mind
That's
was
all I
peering
mean.
through by directing the swan to put its head on my
Right.
knee.
But see, the thing is though, if you brought me and Hammy back to that pond, right? And then you were able to replicate that, say, I don't know, 20 times, right? And just say, yeah, I was here. It was at 3:21 p.m.
You believe there's a
and
world in which 20 examples could be
25.
flukes,
25 just to be
maybe
sure.
25, and we can, and we can,
all be
and then we
explained
can,
away by just the swan was into me for whatever reason.
we might say that, and then we might say, okay, Cuckoo Lumps, how do we know this swan isn't in love
Well,
with
I
you,
then cite
right?
to diversity of examples, not
There we go.
multiplicity of one example.
Right. Not
So-
multiplicity of one example. Yeah. We would do a diversity of examples, and that's all we're asking for is that we would do a diversity of examples. We would investigate those.
Okay, so if
see what I mean?
if you accept from me a diversity of examples as being true, which I could give you, I don't want to get into the weeds on those. I mean, if you want me to, I will, but I won't unless
we don't
you-
think we
you-
have to.
Okay,
It's-
I don't think
and-
so either because
Yeah.
I think you can take me at face value of what I'm saying here.
Okay.
You know.
And last
but-
point, because we have to move on.
Yep.
But go ahead.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just continuing it for as long as you
Absolutely.
would like to.
I was just
That's
letting
cool.
you know. Yeah, they voted to move on, so I just let
That's
you
okay.
know.
I would
But I'll
simply
give you the
then
last
make my
point,
last statement is just that I think that even for the agnostic who is and an agnostic, I'm not even going to talk about the person who's the viewer here. I'm just saying, perhaps for you and in your worldview,
Okay.
if you're presented with a diversity of examples in quality and type, and with sufficient number of examples, so type and token, that I think it would be illogical to assume that it doesn't add up to something. Full stop.
Okay.
That's it, really.
All right. Well, hey,
It
Cookie
would be
Lumps.
it's the overwhelming weight is too great. That
Okay.
you arguing against it is, I think, you militating based on some ulterior motive. That's it, really. I'm not saying that's you personally. I'm just saying for any individual
Anyone,
who
well-
was faced with
Okay.
such a diversity and number of examples that sure, could some of them be explained by nature, but the fact of the point of pointing to diversity and also number is that is the same as to say that the diversity and number is so much so that you cannot just explain each one away with or a sufficient portion away by nature. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So
I
I do
gotcha.
think that there's a juncture, an intersection at which a person can come to that juncture, and good logic would almost dictate that they'd have to accept at a minimum that they can't be a strict atheist, but at a minimum an agnostic.
All right. Well,
I'm
hey, listen,
sorry.
I'm gonna wrap
I
it up.
appreciate the time. Thank you.
Yeah.
This was
I appreciate you.
very
It was good talk.
enjoyable. Thank you.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Absolutely. All right. Have a good day.
Yep. You too.
Yeah. I just wanted to move on but I know you're gonna have something to say
Yeah.
about that. Yeah. Because he did
Yeah,
begin the
because,
whole
I
thing
mean,
with if you're like a hard atheist, then that's illogical. He began the whole conversation with that. I think
Yeah.
that's before you walked in. So
Well, I was, and the thing is like I've heard that enough that's not what I bat an eye at. It's the fact that he sat there and was talking about how logical this one position is. But I mean, the thing is he started this off with assume my position is correct, and all these things will show that my position is correct. I mean,
yeah, he was
in a
just
court
using
of
the
law,
logic
if
of
we-
possibility argument. That's what he was really
Yeah.
doing. And I'm like, okay, it's
But-
possible, but we're not here to
yeah,
talk
but the
about
thing is
possibility.
like that's like saying in the court of law is if like assume my client is innocent, and you'll see he's innocent, my guy.
Right.
It's possible he's innocent, so there we go.
Yeah.
And I just
you know
I don't
what?
like.
It works with, if it's guilty beyond all reasonable doubt. Okay, it works, right? Because that's a bar you have to clear, right? What we're just sitting at evidence here right now. We're just sitting at evidence. And so we can't accept possibility as evidence because that's not evidence. And he did
Right.
concede that earlier in the conversation. And he was just like, I'm just trying to get you to possible. And I said, yeah, I grant that. It's possible. But we need more to believe it. Doesn't mean I have to believe it. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah. No, but it's possible, therefore true, because apparently possible equals true. Yeah, exactly. That's a great way to put it. Evidence first. Possible
Yeah, and
because
I just
true. Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't see possible equaling true.
Yeah.
Possible just equals possible.
Yeah, possible is possible. So it's just possible means not impossible, right?
Right.
Yeah. We get you, Kooky Plums. Diversity, number, examples. Yes, and that brings up possibility, and that's all we're going over. Okay. Yeah, but it was still. Yes, you did. You did say you're only agnostic. You did. So.
And Cookie,
that's cool.
maybe next time I'm
Yeah.
on the panel, we can get into the whole entire hard atheist talk, because
Yeah.
the hard atheist that you were referring to is me. I'm that hard atheist.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting discussion to have. That you guys could have. So, but this was a good talk. So come back another time, Kooky Plums. It was a pretty good talk. All right, we got Soraya Egyptian, who is up next in the queue. I have to say, I believe we've talked before. Soraya Egyptian, how's it going? Soraya
I'm so
Egyptian.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I requested by accident. I'm
Oh,
just
no, that's
listening.
okay.
I'm so sorry.
No worries. Well, thanks for requesting up, and thanks for tapping the screen, because that's why you requested
No,
up by
thank-
accident.
thank
You tapped
you.
the screen for likes. So no, we appreciate
Thank
that.
you. Thank you for having this type of lives.
Got it. You
Thank
got
you
it.
guys for having this type of lives. I love it. I've learned a lot.
Awesome. We're happy to hear that. So, but hey, we appreciate your support. And
All right.
yeah, W for Soraya, chat, for supporting the live stream. So we appreciate that.
It's a riot.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Have a good day.
you. Have fun, guys.
Will do. And appreciate you supporting us, and appreciate you listening.
I've been looking into the Jesus claims. I've been looking into Jesus in and of himself, and I just
Jesus claims.
yeah, I just like I'm looking into like Jesus' life and all that stuff, and looking at both sides for historicity and the mythicist position.
Oh yeah.
And I've always said that I never really ever looked into it, because I just automatically assumed, yeah, Jesus existed. That's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But the more you look into it and look in to see what evidence there is for Jesus, the less and less you see that there's evidence.
Yeah.
And it's just absolutely insane.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I was leaning towards Jesus existing until I read, CBJ's book, CBJ. And after I read that book, yeah, I was like, okay, well, I am now, like solidly agnostic on it. But I mean, for the purposes of this live, I can just say, okay, sure, let's just grant it's true. All right, now what? And it doesn't get you any closer. That's the problem. It doesn't get you any closer to God being real. So to me, it's like the more you look, I mean, cause I'm doing these lives and you have to look stuff up. I'm with you. It doesn't get you any closer to Jesus existing. It actually gets you a little bit further away the more you look into it.
And the thing is like, whenever you look at, oh wait, do we have another person in the guest
Yeah,
box
we
waiting?
do. Because Kooky Plums asked me a question and I was looking for my syllogism on God not existing. I posted it in I posted it in the Discord a while ago, and I'm just trying to look for it. Because I really want to answer the question. I just want to post it so people can see it. But yeah, I came up with the syllogism a while ago. Yeah, but go ahead, talk.
So yeah, no, like even if you don't take like any mythicist position, right? I find it very interesting, because like all the sources that mention either Christ or Christians and all that stuff, it's the majority, the great bulk of them are just mentioning basically like what Christians already believed at the time, what a group of people already believed at the time. And then others are mentioning other groups such as the Christians and things like that. And like for instance, there's one line in
There it is. Found it.
Oh, you found it? Okay.
No, go. Keep
So go
going.
ahead.
I have to pull it
There's
up.
one
Keep going.
line in one of the people who mentions Christians in Rome, and the timeline doesn't match up because like it's talking about in like 60 CE or 60 CE, and Christianity hadn't gotten widespread enough to even remotely reach Rome
Yeah.
for enough for Nero to talk about how like there being a problem for him. And so it's like I was like, oh shit. And then there's like other people who mention like that people like to mention that are like, oh, this talks about, you know, Jesus as well. And I'm like, I looked at it and like, it doesn't even say it like Jesus. It doesn't even say Christ. Some of them just says like a wise king, but Jesus wasn't a king. And
Right.
it was like,
Exactly.
damn.
Exactly.
But here we are.
Exactly. Isn't that something? Yeah. Okay. So this is my syllogism. Kooky Plums, if you're still here, this is what I got here. So, P1, if God exists, his essential attributes must be logically coherent and mutually consistent. P2, our best scientific theories reveal structural features of reality that make those divine attributes internally incoherent. Now, this is the Abrahamic God. So this is, like I said, this is the mind that created the universe, or the Abrahamic God. So, our structural features of reality that make those divine attributes internally incoherent or impossible to instantiate in this universe. So we can't instantiate omnipotence. We can't instantiate omnipresence. We can't instantiate omniscience. Therefore, the classical God concept is ontologically incoherent relative to the actual universe. A being whose essential attributes are impossible to instantiate cannot exist in this universe. Therefore, the classical God, defined by those attributes, does not exist. So that's the syllogism. So that's the one I have. Now, the one that you're talking about, Kooky Plums, I don't got one for that. I'll just say it's possible, but you know, still I need
Cookie Plums
evidence.
also asked for you to zoom out a little bit so that way he can see it all fully on the screen because
Let me see if I can make it bigger. Yeah, zoom out a little bit. Let me see.
basically shrink it down.
Oh, shrink it down. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, because these windows, like, they kind of wrap around the text. So if it's a lot of text, it will. How's that? Let me see if it's I got the stupid drag the puzzle thing. Hold on. I got the stupid drag the puzzle piece thing. Give me a second. Okay, it's too far over. All right. I can work with that now. Okay. So, oops, wrong one. There we go. Yeah, it's going to be like, it's like taking up a lot of screen space. So let me shrink it down a little more.
There we go.
Okay, there we go. Okay. So that's what it looks like. So, and I've got for P2, I've got subs for that too. So, so I got a whole different syllogism for T2. I got a whole different one for that, but I'm not going to really get into it. So, but that's essentially where I'm at with that. But this is the Abrahamic God. This is the classic Abrahamic God. But yeah, I mean, as far as the other ones, I would say like I'm a little more agnostic, but not by much, you know, like a couple percentage points agnostic.
When it comes to a mind that created everything, that one to me just if that's the case, then does that mean that we're all just a thought?
Yeah.
And in which case, then you how are you not just led to nihilism? Because if we're all just thoughts, then none of us are real. None of us exist.
Exactly. Christina, what are your thoughts on nihilism?
My only thought is that you know my thoughts on anything that have to do with religion is but or I guess nihilism would be
especially
anyway.
philosophy, yeah, because I know you love philosophy. So
I love
that's why I asked you.
They make me dry as a desert. You know that.
I am so going to get you that T-shirt one of these
Yourself
days.
is in the process of becoming a Phil bro, so you know we're all good.
Yeah, I'm so going to get you that T-shirt one of these days. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I love Phil Bros.
Stop it. Oh, I know. I would die. I would unalive.
T-shirt that says, "Please come up and tell me all about philosophy."
Yes. P1, P2. Define every word that I'm about to say. Ugh.
Go ahead.
What do you mean by word?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes.
You
No, I just wanted to come
substantiate
up
that,
and
Christina. Go
say,
ahead.
send me your address so I can send you a Girls Gone Godless sticker for that that cup
Word.
you've got there.
Say less.
Perfect.
Yes. This is missing a. Yeah. See, it only has this generic little flame. This would be perfect.
Yeah, no, it needs to go right there.
A sticker needs to go right there. Okay. Say less. You'll see one in your DMs. And
All
yeah,
right, thank
you got it.
All right. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Oh, how exciting. And I get to reveal it on the stream. I get to show what it looks like. So that is awesome. I'm getting a Girls Gone Godless. Yeah.
Fenrir has found me out. Fenrir says Hammy actually believes in Yahweh. He's just running around with bad arguments to make atheists look bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is.
You got me. Fenrir is a friend of mine, and he's got me. He's got me so hard. Like he figured it out.
Oh no.
Told you, Finn. Stop telling people my secrets.
Thought. Okay. Commence pro clutching. All right, faucet water. We are having trouble connecting you, so I'm gonna suggest you leave the live, come back, and then try again. But we'll move on to the next guest.
With a name like faucet water, I was so ready to hear.
I was very
the
interested.
Great arguments.
Yeah, I was really interested too. But we have a pre. Oh wait, hold on. We have since Fenrirson. How's it going, Fenrirson?
It's been a while, Trust. How you doing?
It has been. It's good to see you again.
Indeed. I'm, me taking the late night shift, so we don't see each other as often as we could.
Yeah. That's all right.
You see, the thing is that I would expect a Canadian to sit there and tell my secrets like this.
All right. So, Trust, you don't know this joke, but I'm from upstate New York.
Okay.
And they all call me Canadian, and it's the one way to make me rage out. So,
I see. Oh, that's so mean. That's so mean.
But I do it out of love for Finn. I love.
How dare they associate me with the communist maple leaf? I'm tired of it. Anyway, guys, I'm going to be doing a debate live tonight as well. Trust, I wish you would be able to stay awake for it, but I understand.
I'll do my best. Yeah. I do sit in the hallway and then fall asleep a lot of times. Not because you're boring, but because it's late. And so you have put me to sleep like in a very good way many, many times. So
as long as you dream about me, Trust, I'm okay with that.
I do. Is that bad?
Nope, love it.
Okay,
I love.
They're all pleasant
I collect
dreams.
Sims, Trust. I collect Sims, so it's all right.
Awesome.
Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Hey,
Right on,
love
man.
you, man. Trust, love you. Talk to you later.
Love you, man.
Love you too, Finn. But I need to know: am I able to join this and debate some people too?
I think you should. I think you should keep calling him Canadian. That will guarantee that he'll let you in.
Of course. If I keep calling him Canadian, he will allow me to come up.
Now we have Satke. Hey, it's been a while, friend. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's good to see you again. Yeah, it's been a while. Since you've been up here. Yeah. So are you still Christian?
Are you still Father Trust?
I guess so. I don't know. I guess so.
So I'm going to say that you're not Christian if you're asking him if he's Father Trust.
I know. He dodged the question. Maybe.
Well,
have we gotten to you?
No.
Nah.
No, I just no. I'm not your. I mean, we've had a lot of conversation. I'm not your typical Christian, like these people that are just unrealistic. So you were talking to the guests earlier about evidence and stuff. So hypothetical question, like if you were on a boat, you're fishing with your kids, and a shark jumps out the water and snatches an eagle, but you saw it, and the two of your kids that were with you, they saw it, and then you're like, you don't have pictures, videos, any evidence, hard, tangible stuff, and that happened. But then you go and tell the story, and you tell this whole story, and then people are like, that's not true, that never happened. Where's your proof in that?
Okay.
Does so how like eyewitness account stuff? How does that? How would you say would not be credible for evidence of?
Great question. So this is and Kooky Plums, we were kind of talking about this. So I was talking about this with the first guest. So one of the things that we did talk about was because Kooky Plum's saying, "Hey, I have a JD," so he's an attorney. I don't know if you're licensed, but you do have the JD. So we didn't get into that
Right.
part. But well, actually, he did. He says he's litigating. So yeah, he's an attorney. So he did say, "Hey." So something like what the example we used, the analogy we used was a person is walking down the street and a flying monkey snatches him up and flies away, and that's the okay. Thank you for that. Thank you, Kooky. And so that was the testimony that somebody was giving, right? And he would say, and he did say, "Hey, I've been on both sides of this. Like I've litigated on the side of wanting to have this type of evidence included, and then I've been on the opposite side where I've argued to have this type of evidence excluded." And he used the term the indicia of I can't remember the last word, but indicators of reliability. There we go. Indicia of reliability. So indicators of reliability, right? And so one of the reasons he said he would try to exclude that type of evidence is because it is extraordinary, right? And so, yeah, a shark coming out of the water to snatch an eagle, it doesn't happen every day, Sake, but it's something that does happen in our reality. Stuff like that has happened. Like sharks have jumped out of the water and caught birds and gone back down. It happens, but doesn't happen often. Now, if it was something, so if we reported that and then everybody said, "Oh, we don't believe you," it might be because of the extraordinary basis of it. Like if we were in a lake, for example, right? And there's no chance of shark is in there. And I said, "Yeah, me and my kids saw a shark jump out of the water and snatch an eagle and jump back in." I would say then that I personally would expect people to not believe me because it is pretty extraordinary. Now, if we were in the ocean, I think the probability that people would believe us would increase because it is the ocean. And as you know, as we all know, sharks live in the ocean, not lakes, right? So I think that is one piece of it. The other piece of it, Satke, is that if somebody said, I'm just going to add a little bit layer to your example. If somebody said, "Yeah, this was at the lake," and somebody said, "Hey, did you guys hear that Trust and his kids saw a shark jump out of the lake and catch an eagle and jump back into the water?" Now what we're doing, now we have a layer of testimony added to that, right? Now it turns into hearsay. And so Kooky Plums and I, we got into it about that as well, because he said, well, you would start on the basis that you wouldn't admit that, and there has to be some type of exception to allow that to be valid evidence, right? To be allowed admissible into evidence. Now we're using standards of law here, so I don't want to go too far in the weeds in that. What I'm trying to say though is, if somebody did say, "Hey, I Trust in his kids witnessed a shark jumping out of the water and catching an eagle and then jumping back in at the lake, yet we have pictures of it to prove it. Somebody else took pictures, or, we found there was a camera at the dock and it happened to capture this. We saw this years later. Then that verifies what me and my kids saw, right? Am I kind of making sense here? Like, me alone, alone saying I saw this with my kids. Yeah, it's kind of weak evidence. I'm gonna be honest. It is weak, even though I know what I saw. It is kind of weak evidence.
But it still doesn't negate that it was true.
No, it doesn't negate it's true. It's just that we want to verify it, right? And
okay,
and so we're talking about believability. So we're not saying negation of truth. We're just saying believability. That's all.
It's like a lot of history. Like, okay, Leonardo da Vinci painted the Mona Lisa, and that's what we all agree. the evidence we have is the Mona Lisa, but where's the evidence of him actually painting it?
The evidence of him actually painting it is, we could probably look it up and see, like,
Yeah,
how we know he actually painted it.
The thing is the Mona Lisa was commissioned. It was commissioned by
there it is.
somebody else.
That's how
So
we
we
know.
have evidence that he did it because the person who bought it was the one who is like,
But
yeah,
that's
this
just,
came from them.
but that's also like that anybody could say that.
Yeah,
Right.
but then you'd
So
have to.
are
But then if the person who commissioned it like went to Leonardo da Vinci's place and saw him painting it, and then like, because paintings don't take one day, right? They take a while. So if they saw him doing it and they saw
And
the
also,
progress of it,
and also
that's
Leonardo
pretty-
da Vinci was a notorious procrastinator. So the person who commissioned it most likely ends up actually going there constantly because he was notorious at procrastinating. But at this point, it seems like, are we debating whether or not Leonardo da Vinci existed, or are we debating whether or not he?
It's just a point of
painted
like evidence of eyewitness. So like the whole thing of like the 500 people that saw Jesus, like eyewitness accounts. Where does that the fine line of evidence? Because then you have like things that would be considered like supernatural, like Peter or the disciples saw Jesus walking on water, or Jesus turned water into wine.
Well,
Would be like not common things you're going to hear of.
well, those things there, those are more like so. The Gospels themselves are kind of telling a narrative, right? They're not really out here like discussing history in a way that somebody who writes about history would, right? They're not out here doing that. They're out here telling a narrative, and we can tell because like in other historical pieces of the time frame, we don't see a lot of this fantastical stuff. We see it like matter of facts. Hey, this is the things that took place, and so we know that the Gospels are telling a narrative in order to tell you about this Jesus character. And as far as like the other, like the 500 eyewitnesses, we don't even have a claim of that. We have a claim from somebody else saying there was 500 witnesses, right? So it's not even a direct comparison for that part either.
Right.
And
okay.
and the quote unquote eyewitness accounts of the Gospels themselves about Jesus's life, these aren't even people sitting there saying I saw this. This is just a collection of people saying, hey, this is what eyewitnesses say. Because we don't see any one of the Gospels saying, my name is Luke, I saw this happen, or my name is Matthew, and this is what I saw take place. It's collections of different accounts from different people that are comprised into the Gospels.
Okay. So eyewitness evidence is sometimes it's truth, but some people truth doesn't negate the fact that there's truth in eyewitness account.
Yeah, and the other thing about that is, and Hammy, you may have said this, so if I'm repeating myself, forgive. One of the other things about this is that the statement of in Acts of there being 500 witnesses, it is just a statement, and we have no way to verify that there were actually 500 witnesses. We can't independently verify it. Herman Goring, okay. So, did I lose people?
No, I was watching. I thought you were looking up something.
Oh, my bad. I was doing some I'm so sorry. I was doing some mod stuff in the YouTube chat because there's a person with a Yahtzee name in the chat. So I'm trying to get rid of them. Let's do that. Let's just put them in timeout for 24 hours. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that. So, So I guess that's, because that's kind of where we're at as far as like the witnesses is like we can't independently verify like the witness statements unless you have something for us. And my light keeps going out because I didn't plug it in. So
Yeah, if you got something about the 500 witnesses, great. If you got
No,
something
just
about-
so eyewitness evidence.
eyewitness evidence by itself. Yeah. And yeah. Okay. I hear you.
Yeah,
Cause like what we would like to
We
see
kind
is
of
like,
agreed. I mean, I agree on some of the stuff.
okay. Yeah. Like in that sense, like what we'd like to see is, yeah, like, how do we verify that the witnesses are actually real? Right. Cause yeah, like independent statements from them, independent writings from them, at the time it happened, and we don't have any of that, right? That seems to be more of something. It was like a literary thing for Paul to demonstrate that, hey man, we have a lot of people that saw this. We have don't fret guys, this is true. It was more like a literary thing than it was like a rhetorical thing than it was like actual evidence. It's kind of like saying, yeah, and my buddy saw this too. It's like a statement to kind of persuade. It's a persuasive statement. Yeah.
What evidence? I mean, besides a physical coming down or audible voice or something, what would it take for you to believe that the God of the Bible, the Abrahamic God, is a real entity?
A real entity?
Or like, or like he is the creator. He is the God of the universe. He is the God of the Bible. What would that? What evidence would you want? Or
besides
would you
a voice
need
or him coming down?
Yeah.
Something extraordinary, to happen.
For one,
like
I would
what,
like he would have to not be as he's portrayed by his believers, right? With the omnis and stuff like that. Those would have to be completely fabrications from the believers, because I don't see that God existing at all. Because a God with all the omni properties that a lot of believers give him, it's logically impossible.
Yeah. Unless there is some type of, so in that sense, for the logical impossibility that Hammy was talking about, I don't think there's a way other than like some type of divine occurrence that happens that demonstrates like omnipotence or demonstrates omniscience or something like that. And so it would have to be something, but it would have to be something extraordinary, because this is an extraordinary God, right? So and so extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And if we could demonstrate that Jesus resurrected from the dead and ascended into heaven, if we had evidence of that, that would move the needle for me. But again, this kind of ties into what Hammy just said, that what we know about our reality, that's impossible. So
now,
it would have to be extraordinary evidence. Yeah, it'd have to be something pretty extraordinary.
Does any of the evidence of, like, in the Middle East, in Iran, Iraq, Israel, does any of that stuff that is mentioned in the Bible that is currently there, does that raise any type of curiosity for you?
Like what?
That it lines up?
Yeah. What's an example? And we won't base it just on that example alone. We just need to kind of know where you're coming from. That's all.
There's where in the Bible, when it talked about when Moses and Sarah were walking away and turned around and turned into a pillar of salt, and then where that happened, there is a pillar of salt, or like where the Ten Commandments, where there's a rock that's burnt at the top of it, in Israel. But there's like Jerusalem is there, all the historical places. Because I actually went to Israel for 30 days.
So,
a lot of that stuff
I remember you telling me about that.
Like,
yeah.
So it was kind of like, it's like, wow, a lot of this stuff lines up, and I still question it. I still question it.
Well, as far as like the historical places, like yeah, these places existed, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't think anybody would ever sit there and say that Jerusalem, that place is not real. Like what are you talking about? Like no, nobody's out here saying that,
Well,
right?
I'll add in just a qualifier. Some of the places exist. Like we have some
Right.
historical things that we have been able to verify in the Bible. That'll, but not
Right.
everything. Yeah, we haven't verified everything. Some of them have.
Yeah, like we just we just recently had found like where Jericho was, right? I say recently, I'm talking like within the past like I think 10 years, maybe a little bit more. We just recently found out that Jericho existed. It was believed to be in this one place, and they said, "Hey, look, this is Jericho." And then whenever they actually did some digging in that area, they said, "No, it's not. It's this city." So then they dig deeper, and they're like, "Oh, look, this is Jericho." And then someone's like, "Nope, that's actually this other place, right?" And then they finally got down to the bottom, and they're like, "See, this is Jericho." And everybody who was like looking at all the evidence, they're like, "Yeah, nope, no, actually, yeah, this is Jericho." So like we have like evidence of certain cities and certain places, but like everything else, like a lot of what I've found whenever it comes to people saying, "Oh, look, here's the pillars of salt," right? That was where this one about the Sodom and Gomorrah and Lot's wife looking back, right? That's her pillar of salt. And the funniest thing is I looked up this pillar of salt that they called Lot's wife today, and unless you're saying that Lot and his wife were like 60 feet tall, that's not her, right? Because if she turned into a pillar of salt, like wouldn't she just be the size that she was? Like she would have been like maybe like 4 to 5 feet tall.
I don't know. In the Bible, people
Then
they were a
there'd be
lot
erosion,
bigger than what they
right?
are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. But what about
Yeah.
the stuff like in the Red Sea that they found?
Well, here's the
That's
problem
Ron
with that.
Wyatt.
Yeah, that's a Ron Wyatt thing, and then the other thing is that the Hebrew translation is actually the Reed Sea, so it's not the Red Sea, it's the Reed Sea, and they haven't
And where's
found
the Reed Sea?
they haven't found it. That's the problem. Yeah.
So where's all that
They don't even know
stuff
if
in
it
the bottom?
exists.
What was
So-
all that at the bottom of the Red Sea then?
That is actually natural formations, believe it or not. Like so, the thing is that whenever Ron Wyatt found it, he sat there and was like, "Look, this looks like a chariot wheel," and to somebody who hasn't actually gone down there to look at what it is, yeah, I admit it looks somewhat like a chariot wheel, but when scientists actually went down there to investigate what it is, they found that it is just completely coral, right?
Yeah.
There's
Coral
no
formations.
yeah, there's no wheel underneath it. There's no wood within it. It's all straight coral. It's not anything that is a chariot in nature.
Now, Satke, please don't tell me you paid for the dive expedition to look at it, because I did talk to somebody who did pay for it. And
No, I did
Okay.
the Dead Sea though. That was really cool.
okay, that's
Dead
cool.
Sea
but
is pretty
just-
fascinating because it's
yeah.
so salty
Oh
that
my
you
gosh.
can't actually sink. So you just
No, you
float
could
on
sit.
top.
You could literally sit up like you're in a lawn chair and sit like you're sitting in a lawn chair. People were
Yeah.
reading the newspaper, sitting up. It was
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, that's cool.
It's really cool.
That's really cool, and you can do that at the Salt Lake too.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that at Salt
It-
Lake. Yeah.
Hell, if you want to go out and buy that amount of salt, you could do it in a little a pool that you buy. And
Actually,
you can just add
my
a
wife
bunch of
and I
salt
did
to it.
that. My wife and I did that. We did a Epsom salt bath, and we did exactly that. So we were just in this giant tub, and yeah, it was a nice looking tub. It was like a giant tub, and they filled it full of Epsom salt, and then we just like floated in it for like an hour. It was really cool. Yeah, floating pools. Thank you, TikTok notification. Yeah, we did that. It was really, really cool. So yeah, highly recommend it. It's very relaxing. Yeah, if you've got the means. Yeah.
But yeah, so most of like what Ron Wyatt thing did, like I mean, I'm sorry, he's a scam artist, right? I mean, this is the same man who said that he found the exact location where Jesus was up on the cross, and there was a cave underneath it that he
And
went there.
blood and-
He found blood, and somehow this blood miraculously has been, preserved for over 2,000 years. And he takes it and he puts, he takes it to the lab, and the lab people, they sit there and looked at it, and they saw only woman DNA, and there was no male DNA whatsoever. And he was like, and the lab technician was like, whose blood is this? And Ron Wyatt said, it's your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And like this story, it's like, it's fantastic to hear. And like, to somebody who is a believer, they would be like, oh my God, that's so amazing. But then when pressed about it, and people have asked, hey, so we can go and look at this thing. He's like, oh, no. They only allow me in there. Nobody else is allowed in there.
Now, there's another piece to this, Sadke, is if you look at other religions, they also have their type of evidence that you're talking about. They have archaeological evidence. They have places, historical people that they've verified to have existed. So does that make, like, for example, Hinduism has everything that you're describing, the same type of evidence, not the exact same evidence, but the same type of evidence. So does that make Hinduism true?
No, not necessarily.
Okay. So then, but see, here's the thing. We're using the exact same standard of evidence that you're using, the exact same standard you're using to evaluate your evidence, but you're dismissing their evidence, saying, no, it's not true. So then how come it doesn't apply for yours?
You mean like things that historically that happened, they're saying?
Yeah, like historical events, like battles, people who existed that are in the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, the Vedas, things like that. Events
And they
that
have
occurred.
like they have
Places.
evidence, like physical evidence.
Yeah, they have some physical evidence of things.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't
Islam
looked into it.
is the same. Yeah, Islam is the same. Like we know where Mecca is, for example. There are places associated in there. There are events that occurred that we can verify.
No,
that
I think some of
historically
that's true.
happened.
The same with the Norse.
Like Islam, I think
And the
like
same with the
Muhammad
Norse
was
guy,
real.
Yeah.
I think that stuff. I don't discount that.
Yeah.
But like 1946, that shepherd Muhammad, who found the Dead Sea Scrolls, he threw a rock. He threw a rock in a cave, and it like clink clink, and then cracked a clay jar and went down and it was the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Right.
So I think the last time I heard that story in and of itself is like hyperbolic. Like, from my understanding, like these kids were always like went down in there and played in the cave type of deal.
I think
But
No,
they
the
did go.
shepherd. It
Well,
wasn't. I saw them. I physically saw.
Okay,
It
and
wasn't a kid.
well,
It
here's
was a shepherd.
Gotcha. Well, here's the point. The existence of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Okay, so we have like a reference point, right? But then how do we know what's on the Dead Sea Scrolls is true? Because now you verified like the other Bibles. Yeah, but now you have to go back. Well, then how do we know those are true?
Right. No, yeah, I get it. But I'm just saying, like, there are little nuggets of evidence.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I question, you know what I mean? I'm like, I question stuff, and I'm like, that seems a little funny. And, I don't like the Old Testament, so.
Do you think Robin Hood is real?
As long as Batman's with him.
No, Robin Hood.
Okay.
From like
not Green Arrow.
Oh yeah, not Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Robin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there's no
but-
Batman, that means Robin doesn't exist.
Whoa,
absolutely.
Batman, true. Batman exists. Don't get me started on that. Like y'all have never been to Gotham? I've definitely been to Gotham.
Hey,
right?
just as a side note, guys, I just clipped and posted a video of a lady who was on the live. I don't know, it was like a couple Fridays ago, last Friday, and she said that Superman is real because it's based on like a religious figure. And so I advise you guys all to watch it. Yeah, she said all the comic book heroes are actually real. They actually existed. So everybody should all watch it. Yeah. It was a big
They physically existed? Or
Yes, she said
Superman-
they literally existed. Yes.
Superman was.
And she was a
somebody who
Christian?
is an Ubermensch.
No, she was like a spiritualist type of person. I'm not sure because she pretended to be Christian on the live, and then when she sent me a DM, because she said I'm gonna send you all the facts later, and then she just sent me like it just said like Superman was Horus, and then like Green Lantern was this person, and you know, and the Incredible Hulk was this person. Yeah, that's all she sent.
I'm sorry, but
yeah. It was
but
fun.
the thing is, with Superman, like he's the Ubermensch. He is this like he was created by these two Jewish men who created this Ubermensch to basically combat against Schmittler. Like that, like there's an entire comic of him fighting Schmittler. So like this is anyways. But whenever it comes to like Robin Hood, I like that's going to like literally start getting me down a rabbit hole of comics that we're not going to get into. But whenever it comes to Robin Hood, like we have mentions in Robin Hood about like like the about the Sheriff of Nottingham, which was a real person, right? And this is during the Lionheart King, the king who was known as
Richard the Lionhearted. Yeah,
Richard the Lionheart.
Richard the Lionhearted.
And we have like we have like Sherwood Forest, which are all real places. And as a matter of fact, there is a man who went into close by Locksley because Robin was Sir Robin of Locksley, right? And there's a forest that's close by Locksley in the United Kingdom. And inside this forest, there is a grave that talks about Robin of Locksley. And he didn't say flat out say this is Robin Hood's grave, right? But could that not be Robin Hood?
It could be.
And the thing is like 9 times out of 10 the stories of Robin Hood are fantastical, but if Robin existed and all these places existed, does that mean everything that Robin of Locksley did is true?
Not necessarily, no, but I haven't really looked into Robin Hood, but
All right. Well, that's
Yeah.
the thing is
it
like
could be.
we have these stories of people, like even people that we today think of as made up, right? Like King Arthur, Beowulf, and we hear these people and they're made up stories. But the question is like you sit there and you're really, really like ready to deny them, even though they have the same criteria that you're holding to, that the Bible is true. They have those same criteria for all of those stories. And I'm wondering, how is it that you have designated all these stories, whether they be religious or not, as made up or not real or not true, while also holding to the fact that the Bible is?
Yeah, I'd have to look into some of it, but I don't know what Robin Hood, the story of Robin Hood, how that would have made my life better or given me a sense of hope, because Robin Hood was a real.
Okay.
I mean, Robin
So-
Hood, he helped out the poor and the needy, and during a time frame whenever the Sheriff of Nottingham
Yeah, that's
was
great.
being a tyrannical.
What did he do for me or humanity?
What did he do? Like I said, he took care of the poor and defenseless, and that's anything that everybody should aspire to do. You should look out for the people who need the most help. If you're
Yeah.
out there helping really the people who already have everything they need, then are you actually a good person?
Yeah. And then by that token, Satke, then you'd have to look at other stories that give people hope, like Buddha. Buddha was the only person to achieve nirvana. Did he drop? Oh, it looks like he dropped. Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh no. I think he got raptured.
I
Oh,
didn't mean
shit.
to upset him if that's what happened, but then again, he was having spotty areas.
Okay, he was probably in a spotty error. I'm just gonna say he got raptured. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
That's a way more
Oh,
fun
that's
explanation,
coming.
right?
I need to check on my sister then.
Is your sister about to get raptured? Oh no.
Oh, she might be. She's very much a godly person.
Okay. Well, good to know. But all right. So if people just start disappearing, well, we might know what time it is. All right. Let's bring up Carson Harden, next person up on the live in the guest queue. How's it going, Carson?
Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, how are you?
Hey, doing well. Can I get your age and pronouns, please?
18 and guy. A guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have guys who come in who use
Boy.
she, her. So is that an acceptable?
Boy.
Okay,
Male. It doesn't matter to me.
We have males who use she, her, they, them. We good with that?
He,
him? Okay. He, him. All right.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, thanks. All right, Carson, 18, and what year were you born?
2008.
Okay. All right. Thanks for waiting. And which God do you believe in?
Christian, can I ask you something?
Sure.
Okay, so you believe that like God doesn't exist, right?
That is
Or
correct.
do you
Okay. What's your best evidence that God is real? Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. So how do you believe like the universe like started, or what do you believe like the origin or like how it goes?
It always existed. So, would you say that what is the origin of your God?
Always existed.
Always existed. Okay, so you understand the concept of eternal. So, universe has always existed. So, all right, let's get back to the question.
I have
your
an
best
argument against that which will support like my evidence for a God. So
Okay, the argument
are you
against
familiar?
the universe always existing.
Universe always existing, yes.
Okay.
Do you know what the second law of thermodynamics is?
Yeah, is that the one about entropy?
Yes.
Okay. Which
According
okay.
to that law, the universe can't always exist.
Okay, how do you know
Has
the
to begin.
universe is a closed system?
That's
What's your
what
evidence of that?
scientists believe.
Which ones?
Like I researched it and like it showed
Some
me
do.
on like
Yeah, some do.
the universe
how
is
does that-
believed to be a closed system.
By some, but it's not settled science. And if that's the case, because then what we would expect to see is other things like a non-zero amount of energy, right? At some point in time in the universe. And scientists have never seen that. So how does the
Carson?
second law demonstrate that the universe could not have always existed forever? Because we have other indicators that it could have. We have like quantum mechanics, right? Quantum mechanics states that implies that the universe has always existed. And then there's things like the quantum eternity theorem, which state that time has always existed. And so if time was never created and time is a part of the, it's one of the dimensions of the universe, how could the universe have been created?
Okay, so according to the second law of thermodynamics, it would go from lowest amount of entropy, which is complete order, to highest amount of entropy, which is complete disorder, which is where
Carson,
there's
what's a closed
equilibrium.
system?
Huh?
What's a closed system?
How do you define what do you define as a closed system?
Well, that's what I'm asking you, because you keep talking about how the universe is a closed
We
system.
happen to
I
have a
want to know
physicist
why.
here. Oh, and somebody,
not-
if somebody
I-
has
I
the
just
bat
learned
signal
this-
for expect thought, yeah.
This is my new like favorite thing to talk about because like I just learned about this yesterday, but like I'm not
right
completely
on,
strong
man.
on
Oh,
closed
okay,
systems.
cool.
Well,
So,
hey,
I'm new-
just
I'm new to
just
this- I'm new
to
to
just
this
to help
topic.
you out. Well, hang on, stop, guys, just a sec. Various, you said you're a physicist.
Yeah.
Okay, what okay, very good. Is there like a specific like subfield of physics, or like maybe general or astrophysics? Like where are you at in terms of that?
So most of my research is in quantum mechanics, but I do a little bit of research in just like systems of mechanics in general. I'm
Okay.
developing some for classical and general relativity.
This is fantastic. I think I've made a new friend because I have like an idiot's understanding of quantum mechanics. So you might see a lot of questions from me sometime in DMs. Just saying, because
Oh, for
you know.
sure.
Oh,
Happy to.
that's dope. Okay,
That's like why I even have a platform on TikTok. Is I like doing
Word.
scientific outreach. I like getting to, help people understand a bit of my field.
okay. Well, then I'm following you, and please, everyone, follow Various because we need big brains like Various around. So thank you for your service, by the way. Thank you for all you do.
Yeah, no
I know
problem.
it's I know science can be a thankless job, and so it is so awesome that you requested up because, I was actually, before we get into it, can you answer me this one question? Because it sounds like you're doing research, right? You're doing a lot of research here. If a person just a rando like me happen, like if just say you're part of university faculty and a rando like me contacted the physics department and say, hey, I'm just a guy off the street and I got some questions about physics, would you be inclined to talk to me?
It kind of depends on how long the questions are.
Oh,
if they're
yeah.
fairly
Like
basic
say,
and easy to answer,
yeah,
you'll probably
like
get a
say,
response.
okay, like say I just sent you like a couple of softball questions, right? And just say, hey, I was just wondering about a couple of things. And then it kind of turned into a discussion. Let's just say, hey, Various, thank you for that. I'd like to buy you a coffee sometime and pick your brain more. Would that be something you'd be cool with to do? Like,
I mean, that's
it
definitely
depends
gonna
on
vary
personalities,
yeah, that's
it's
gonna vary.
possibility. How about that?
Yeah, it's a possibility. Like for
Okay.
softball questions, real quick,
Yeah.
easy ones, most people are, as long as they see it, most people are probably going to reply.
Yeah.
And then further than that, it kind of depends on the personality and their prior commitments.
Sure. And not like to say, hey, like maybe if I'm like, hey, I kind of believe in God, but some of these things are kind of confusing me. Like say, could you help me understand what entropy means? Like for something like that. That seems to be like a softball question, right?
Entropy,
sort of.
the understanding of it depends how deeply you want to understand it, I'd say.
Got it. Okay.
It
like say third grade level understanding. Because like I have like a kindergarten level and I just want to jump to third grade. Something like that, right? Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah, so basic, like at the most basic level, entropy is kind of a measure of how probable the macro state is.
Gotcha.
So there's macro states and micro states. Macro states are like the directly observable phenomena of, say, a gas, the pressure, the temperature, the volume, stuff like that.
Okay.
But then the micro state is exactly what it sounds like. It is the exact configuration of every single molecule within that gas. It's every molecule's exact position, exact velocity. If there are a lot of different microstates for one given macro state, then that's going to be a very, then that macro state is very probable.
Okay.
But if there are, say, very few microstates for a given macro state, then there's only so many ways you can make that macro state, so it's not going to be very probable.
Okay. You probably
then,
broke that down into like, less than like master's degree level, but that like went way over my head. So,
I can try again some other time.
Oh, no. This is fine because actually we're kind of talking about this with Carson. So Carson said you learned about this yesterday.
I'm kind of new to this myself too, by the way.
Yeah, like the second law of thermodynamics. Yeah. So.
Right, and so what the second law of thermodynamics
start the timer.
states. Timer?
Go ahead. Yeah, I got to start the timer, but go ahead, Various. You got the floor.
Okay. So the second law of thermodynamics states that in a system that is closed, basically there's no matter flowing in or out, and there's no energy flowing in or out, then the entropy will always increase. And basically what that means is that the state of the system is going to change from whatever state it's in into states that are more favorable or more probable. But it is, as far as applying the second law of thermodynamics to cosmology, particularly like the Big Bang and like the long-term behavior of the universe, there's a number of assumptions that go into the second law of thermodynamics. The second law of thermo isn't like a lot of our other laws. Things like F equals ma, force equals mass times acceleration. That's a directly observed law. We noticed a pattern, we tried to falsify it, we couldn't, so we called it a law.
Yeah.
The second law of thermodynamics, because it's with entropy, we can't actually observe the second law of thermo. because entropy isn't something that can be measured. It's just something that's calculated after the fact. So the second law of thermo was actually derived. But in order to derive it mathematically, you have to start with a list of assumptions. There has to be more than like 40 particles in the system. There has to be no quantum effects. It has to be perfectly classical, and there can't be any energy or matter flow in or out of the system. In something like the Big Bang, that's violated for a lot of reasons. The quantum effects in the Big Bang, because of how dense the system is, quantum effects are going to be huge. The quantum correlations are going to be extremely high. Also, the Big Bang is also very heavily governed by general relativity. And in general relativity, you actually don't have that the total energy of the system is conserved, which is another requirement for the second law of thermo. Because the sort of classical version of the second law of thermo doesn't like directly map onto the Big Bang, there's actually been models that people have come up with, like the CCC model, that the entropy actually resets. The CCC is cyclic. It's conformal cyclic cosmology, where the universe has a Big Bang and it continues expanding for some amount of time, and eventually entropy becomes so high that the universe is completely uniform. This triggers a dynamic rescaling, which effectively creates a new Big Bang, and the entropy actually goes back to zero right at the moment of this new expansion.
I have a question.
Go for it.
Why does it go back to the Big Bang after like total entropy if like there's not supposed to be like any energy or power like at total entropy?
I don't remember the exact mechanism in the CCC model. It's something to do with something called the Weil curvature. Because the Weil curvature is scale invariant, meaning that the if you take the same system and change the size of it, the Weil curvature is still the same value. And once the universe reaches a sort of maximum size and entropy is completely maximum, the Weil curvature is able to do a dynamic rescaling that just resets entropy.
But where does like the power of the wild curvature like come from to be able to cause that? Like that's what I'm confused on.
What do you mean by power? Do you mean
Like
power as in
to
like
be able to like
energy or ability?
yeah, like the ability to like something behind it to cause it to be able to crunch back up to into like a little dense ball, like how the Big Bang is. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
Well, it's because the Weil curvature is scale invariant, and this just before and just after the Big Bang, under this, are conformally um, conformally I can't remember the word, conformally invariant. Basically, the universe is unable to tell, in a sense, the universe is unable to tell the difference between this end stage and beginning stage. They are, in some mathematical sense, sort of identical, but not exactly.
what like makes them identical? Because it seems like from like what I just learned yesterday. Like I said, I'm new to this. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're the physicist, but like at the end of like when it's at total entropy, everything is completely the same, and at the beginning, it's all in like complete order, and as the Big Bang goes, everything's heading towards total entropy. Like what takes
Well,
it and puts it back towards order is kind of
so
like
at the end of the universe, like at the end, so in the CCC model, each of these cycles is called an aeon. At the very end of an aeon, the universe is completely uniform. There's the energy distribution, the momentum distribution, The universe is completely not isotropic, homogeneous. If I'm in one location and then I travel, say, 1,000 light years in another location, the matter distribution is the same. It's not like there's planets and galaxies and stuff anymore.
Yes.
It's and in the CCC model, this sort of state is conformally mapped to the same thing as what the initial state of the Big Bang is.
Okay, but I thought like, so in that specific sense, like does space like not matter? Because what I'm understanding is like, so as we're expanding, like everything's like infinitely like getting smaller to be able to like make once it's in total entropy, it would be like back towards the Big Bang state, or like did you get what I was trying to say?
Could you repeat it?
Okay, so like as everything's expanding, right, and it's going towards total entropy, and once it hits that total entropy state, it's at the what the Big Bang, like the beginning of the Big Bang would be.
So, in a sense, basically the universe has no way from the conformal geometry to distinguish between these two states.
Hey, Various, I got a question. In terms of like, what role does gravity have to play, like in the, like in the early stages of the Big Bang?
Oh, yeah, that's what I was talking about with general relativity.
Mm-hmm.
General relativity plays a very big role. That's actually the thing that that's the theory that models that or general relativity is our current theory of gravity, and it's in there that we're able to do like the expansion of space-time. Newtonian gravity is inherently incapable of doing that. It doesn't understand space as this manifold, whereas GR sees space as this manifold that can expand and contract, and has that feature that global energy isn't conserved.
You got that, Carson?
That kind of flew over my head. Can you rephrase that? Like I said, I'm 18. I'm new to this.
Oh, you're good. It it is hard to explain some of this stuff. So general relativity is our understanding of like space. It tells us um, if I have some amount of mass and energy and momentum, that's actually going to change the shape of space. If I have just a ball, if I'm in a vacuum and there's nothing around other than say the Earth, and we're going to approximate it as a perfect sphere. What general relativity tells us is that gravity isn't. Oh, and then I like fly out and I'm in some ship, some distance away from Earth. What general relativity tells us is that gravity isn't actually these two objects pulling on each other with a force. It's that the coordinates of space time themselves is actually changing. Where if we draw like concentric circles around the Earth, and that's like our coordinates. Um, what it tells us is that if we let time start moving, those concentric spheres around the Earth actually fall into the Earth. And it's not that those objects that are on those shells are accelerating in the traditional sense, it's that the coordinates themselves are moving over time. Let me see if I can pull up an animation because I know that explaining it in words is
So the
very
specific
hard to
problem,
track.
so the specific problem of like G M1 M2 over, I think R squared, like
Yeah,
gravity,
so
that would be
that's
with inside the system.
well, that's Newtonian gravity. That views gravity as this force that's pulling objects together. Uh,
Mhm.
this this modern theory of gravity. Could I get big screen for a
Yep,
moment?
absolutely. I was just waiting for you to pull it up. There we go.
So this modern theory of gravity um, views gravity as the coordinates of spacetime itself changing. So it's not
Okay.
that this apple is moving along the coordinates. The apple is staying fixed on the coordinate that it was on. We're assuming it started with 0 velocity.
hmm
So it started on the coordinate that it was on, and the coordinate itself
Is
is what's
moving.
falling into the earth. Yeah.
It's moving towards the Earth. That's pretty dope.
Okay. So kind of like a black hole, sort of.
So a black hole is what happens when the gravity is so extreme that not even light is able to escape.
Okay.
But a really unusual feature about this theory that we don't see in other theories is that the total energy of the system isn't conserved. If we look at, say, thermodynamics or Newtonian mechanics, unless there's something inputting energy into the system, then the energy of the system won't change. In those theories, it's very easy to just go, the amount of energy I have, plus and minus the bookkeeping of the energy that something else is adding or subtracting, that is the amount of energy I'll have at the end. In GR, we actually don't explicitly have that. In GR, if I calculate energy where I am right now, and then I calculate it again in the same location a billion years from now, and then a third person in the Andromeda galaxy calculates the energy, total energy of the universe also right now, all three of us will get different answers. So it's not even a well-defined property. It's not something that everyone in the system can even agree on.
Okay, so how did we like come towards this like specific like modern termed gravity?
Einstein developed it in the early 1900s. He saw that he did a thought experiment where he thought about like what would it be like if he rode a light beam, and some inspiration from a recent experiment made him realize that the speed of light should be constant for everyone. If I measure it and then I get on a train going 1,000 miles an hour or a plane going 1,000 miles an hour and I measure it again, the two of us, both experiments should get the same value. And that led to special relativity, which has a lot of really weird consequences. And then I don't know what his motivation was to go from that to general relativity, where these coordinates actually change over time.
What causes the coordinates to change?
So that's something called the Einstein field equations. It describes the relationship between the coordinates and the mass energy momentum distribution. General relativity he derived from a few postulates. I'm trying to recall them just so I'm accurate. The local speed of light is invariant. Just the local speed. If I measure the speed of light where I'm at, I'm always going to get the same value. The strong equivalence principle, which states that I think I'm remembering the weak equivalence principle, but I need the strong. Let me just Google that real quick. In a freely falling frame, the laws of physics are always going to be the same. So if I'm, say, out in space in a rocket or something, and someone else is in a rocket, and that rocket is going 1,000 miles an hour relative to me, but it's not accelerating, the laws of physics are going to be the same in both of those rockets. And then if I remember right, it implies that gravity and just pure acceleration are indistinguishable. Where if I'm in a rocket, and it is accelerating, but like there's some soundproofing to where I can't hear all the rockets and everything, and it's accelerating at the same rate as Earth's gravity, there's no experiment I can do from inside of the rocket to determine if I'm in a rocket that's accelerating or if I'm just on the surface of Earth.
Okay. What was lemonade, please? Okay. What was nothing. What was the thing with quantum mechanics? I was confused on what we were talking about earlier with the quantum stuff too.
Oh, like what I said?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, what I began? Well, I was Varys, I was kind of talking about the quantum eternity theorem, and like based on some assumptions, it asserts that it is a theorem, but it asserts that time is eternal, right? And so I was kind of going over that, and since time is a dimension of the universe, then time could not have been created.
So it is a theorem, but it does have some assumptions.
Yeah, it has some
It
assumptions. I think there's
does
like 3
assume.
equations in it, right? I think.
I don't recall. I know it uses the Schrodinger equation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else it uses. Um,
Oh, wave function.
But
Okay, so everybody, remember when I forgot what I was trying to remember yesterday? It was wave function. That's what I was trying to remember. So sorry, Various. All right, continue, please.
You're good.
It just hit me, so I had to say it.
So it does rest on a few assumptions. It assumes that the net energy of the universe is non-zero, which we don't really know for sure yet if the net energy is positive, negative, or zero. I think it requires time reversibility, if I remember right, and I don't think we know if that's true or not yet either.
Well, yeah. It is an assumption.
Right now, quantum mechanics currently has no explanation for wave function collapse. It appears to be non-unitary. And then the quantum eternity theorem, I think it uses the Schrodinger equation, which isn't the modern, our most modern equation for
it's
quantum
not the
mechanics.
most modern.
There it is. Right. If Iron Man taught us anything, we just have to use a Mobius strip and we can time travel.
We're good. Yeah. Just use the Mobius strip. Done.
But the Schrodinger equation doesn't take into account special relativity, which is that idea that the speed of light is constant in any reference frame. Our 2 modern wave equations that we use for quantum mechanics are the Dirac equation, which applies to we'll call it solid matter. It's like our quarks, which makes up protons and neutrons, and our electrons, and then neutrinos. And then we have the Klein-Gordon equation, which is what governs photons, the Higgs boson, gluons, and then the W and Z bosons. Basically, the force transmitters.
Okay. So we don't have so how how high would you say the validity of the quantum what was it called?
The quantum eternity theorem.
Yeah.
It's suggestive, but it's definitely not nail in the coffin type of proof.
No. And I would never ever say any of this is nail in the coffin. Yeah. Settled. Universe always existed. Done. Next. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's evidence. That's all I'm saying. It's evidence.
So you're just saying that
suggestive, yeah.
That we have more suggested evidence towards it always existing than beginning.
I mean, that's definitely a hot topic of debate in the physics community. There are people who lean towards the universe had a finite beginning, and then there are people who are, also very solid on it's always existed.
Where's where's like why does it differ? Is it based off like assumptions made for the certain equations?
It's based on certain different things. Like, so for instance, if you look at like what say Stephen Hawking thought of whenever it came to the Big Bang and the mass expansion, right? He believed that time and the like is tied with space, right? Space time. And so the mass expansion uh, is the kind of the beginning of that. And in his understanding, if you were to ask him what came before that, it's kind of as nonsensical as saying what's north of the North Pole. Because if time and space are interlinked, then whenever the mass expansion began, then that's the beginning of time itself. And so that's the theory he holds to, and that's the current lambda CDM model that that is being held with.
Oh, well, Hawking actually was a proponent of the Hartle-Hawking state, which is very complicated, and I'm not going to try to explain because I have a hard time understanding it as well. So trying to simplify it, I'm not going to be able to do justice. But yeah, ultimately, what camp people fall into right now kind of just depends on their intuition, which model feels right to them, which model, because right now all the different models we have are all compatible with the different observations we have within certain ranges. Um, but there's not like there's not really a model that explains everything perfectly.
That's like reading
All of
way farther than the other ones.
Yeah, all of them have different pros and cons, and an issue that started coming up in the early 1900s. By the late 1800s, we had figured out a lot of uh, like I don't know what that would be called. So there's like modern physics, and then all the physics before that. I actually don't know what
Classical
that would be
physics,
called.
something like that.
Oh yeah, classical. So classical physics by the late 1800s, we had figured out really well. There was actually a physicist that said uh, all of physics is figured out. All that's left is more and more precise measurement. Basically, like all our theories are done. We just need to measure the constants more precisely, and more precisely. Like that's all that's left to do. But he was obviously proven wrong. Um, but the thing is, what emerged starting with modern physics is all of the stuff that's not intuitive. By late 1800s, we had figured out like classical mechanics, just think like stuff moving. You throw a ball, a tire rolls, thermodynamics, how temperature interacts with the environment, um, fluid mechanics, how water flows. All of that had been worked out pretty well. But then the birth of modern physics with quantum mechanics and general relativity started these regimes of physics that are so far removed from our intuition that they are very laborious to figure out. And now when we're on the frontier of trying to figure out something new, we end up with a lot of different potential candidates, and all of them violate our intuition in some unique way. Like the Hartle-Hawking state has this thing where time at the very start is imaginary, but then the CCC
Which
model
is
has
wild, by the way. Yeah, that's wild.
yeah, I don't really get it.
Yeah.
And it's also space-like, and the time component is space-like instead of time-like. It's very strange. But then the CCC model has an actual singularity. There's a division by zero at the start of each aeon. But then the lambda CDM, it proposes a finite start to the universe, uh, but that there was a singularity at the start, that there was a physical division by zero at the start. Um, and then quantum mechanics and GR and all of these different things have things that are so against our intuition that they're very hard to learn. I found that
Yeah. Hey,
going from
Varys.
classical mechanics to these really felt like a wall that had to be overcome.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Are you familiar with the Varys? Are you familiar with the Copenhagen survey? In which
Oh yeah, I cite it all the time on here.
yeah. And
I'm
that's
really glad they did it because
mhm.
before that, it would just have to be like someone would ask and or like something on there would come up and I'd be like, I'm in the field. I've talked to hundreds of physicists. This is what the general consensus is something around this. You're just going to have to take my word for it because I'm in the field and I talk to these people. Now that they've done this survey, I can actually say, like, here's a source rather than just
Yeah, here's the
trust me, bro.
source. Yeah. And so Carson, this is what 68% of scientists say. It says the beginning of the Big Bang is a theory that the universe evolved from a hot, dense state that says nothing about whether there was an absolute beginning of time or not. So, this was, and out of all the survey questions that these scientists took, this had the most consensus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's so it says nothing about the beginning of existence, the beginning of time, beginning of reality, however you want to put it. It just means it is it is an event that happened and that the universe is at least 13.8 billion years old. That's all it says.
So the consensus is like we don't know exactly that.
Yeah.
That we can't determine if it was the beginning or not, and we're just gonna have theories for now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Currently, the model we primarily use for cosmology is called the Lambda CDM, which does have a finite start to it. But in my experience, we already know that model is incomplete. We don't know exactly in what ways, but we do know that it's incomplete. And in my experience, talking to physicists, most of the ones I've talked to don't really think that singularities are physical. They don't really think that they exist in reality, that they're just an indication that our theory needs more work.
Yeah, that's where all the math breaks down, right?
Yeah, it's just saying something has been divided by 0. And we've had theories before that had singularities, but that's not what was actually happening in the lab. And that was classical electromagnetism. But then we came up with quantum electrodynamics, which was able to get rid of those singularities and actually match the measurements of what was actually happening in the lab.
So this is the reason people turn towards the morality debate to determine whether or not God exists, because we can't really tell if there was a beginning.
The physics ones do get very complicated.
Yeah, no, you actually have me excited to start like looking into it again, because like I used to have excitement,
Cool,
but then
man.
it got boring. But then it got boring learning in school. But now I actually have something like that mind boggles me to try to understand.
That's dope, Carson.
Awesome.
And maybe you'll be a physicist at some point. This would be awesome, man. That's what we love to hear. Yeah, this is dope. I love that, man. That we like. Yeah, this is like the second time this has happened in a week. Last week, I had a medical doctor, Ems, up here who was explaining like medical terminology to another guest, and then he was about your age too. He was like 18 or 19, and he said, "Hey, man, this is kind of making me interested in becoming I think I might want to study medicine." So that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
I've always particularly had interest in like physics and like all of this higher, like harder, complex stuff, because I've always had an interest in things that are hard to understand, because it gives me something to think about.
That's
physics
awesome.
Physics is full of that.
That's so great. I hope that this like lights a fire and you go that direction, because we need more scientists. I mean, this is awesome. I would hope that this is that you do this.
There was that one quantum mechanics professor who sat there and said that if you think that you know quantum mechanics, you don't know quantum mechanics.
You don't know quantum mechanics, exactly.
As of right now, I still stand with the I believe in God point off of what I understand.
It's okay.
But because like as we said, we can't really right now with the theories that we have, we can't really determine if there was a beginning or if there wasn't.
True.
It's kind of based off of intuition.
Yeah, and we're not asking you to drop your belief. We're just, you know, what we're just saying. Well, here's what we have, and here's what we know, and all that stuff. And just like you said, there's just no way. There's no way to determine it.
I've always loved these kind of conversations because it encourages people to think. So
yeah, that's great, man. That's great. Well, you know, time's up, but
thank you.
Yeah, man, we appreciate you coming up. And Carson, hey man, come on back at some point and just let us know how your studies are going.
All right.
We'd love
I'll
to
come
hear
back
from
in
you.
like a week or two. You'll be surprised.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. Yeah,
All
bring
right,
something else
see
to
ya.
the table. We'll talk about it.
All right.
All right.
Have a good
one,
Bye.
Carson. Hey, Various, thanks for explaining that. That's
no problem.
that's really cool of you. Yeah, you're welcome to stay up. I've actually been I saw that you're friends with Quantonite?
Yeah, we've actually met in person.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Because I've been kind of saying in my lives here and there, I was like, oh man, if anyone knows a physicist, just let me know. Just send them my way, you know? Because I'd love to have a physicist up here.
I've been in
Have
a few
you?
lives with Various.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Yeah, I've seen you around. You're on Rails Live a lot, I think, right?
Yeah, I'm on Thrails a lot.
Okay.
I typically stay out of like theist, atheist arguments. I'm not really here like as a Christian or as an atheist or anything. I'm here as a scientist. I just want to make sure that the science is accurate, you know.
Perfect. That's all we need, man.
I would. Have you been up on Thrails panel before, Various?
A couple times, yeah. There was a couple times someone was bringing up the Big Bang or quantum mechanics, so they pulled me up.
Cool. I'd love to have your bat signal anytime we have these, because that's the thing, because I talk about physics, but I don't know about it. You know, there's a lot of things I don't know, but I want to learn. Like, I don't know. I have like this, I have this fantasy of just being like the dumbest physicist on the world, right? Just at the very bottom. I'll go to the worst university, you know, with like a 98% acceptance rate, and I'll just learn physics, and I'll just be the dumbest physicist, right?
I mean, okay, Various had already corrected me on something, and I'm just like, I was up here like, I did not know this.
Exactly. This is great.
And, although, wait, no, hold on. I've got to do the whole entire, the exact polar opposite now, and be like, no, Various, you know what I said was true. What you said, no, you must be on fringe. You must be fringe of things, because that's not true. Hawking totally believed what I said he believed.
I totally want to be like told I'm wrong about stuff like this, because I mean, I'm just trying to figure it out, you know, like I just read stuff and I try to figure it out, and I'm just going based on my understanding. So,
right.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, like,
totally cool with that.
I'm happy. I'm happy with being proven wrong.
Exactly.
I love being proven wrong.
But the point is, we will go to somebody who knows what they're talking about, and then we'll have them explain it to us, and then we'll bring it to everybody. So it's kind of the way I look at it. All right, let's bring up Drip Betty. Oh, Drip. I think we talked before. How's it going, Drip?
Yeah, a few times, brother.
Yeah,
How you
a
doing?
couple times. Doing well, thanks. Let me see. You're still Christian?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
For the day he takes me away.
All right.
What's
We have some
your
background
best
noise.
evidence?
There's some background noise. I don't know who that is. There's a background voice, actually.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was my YouTube still playing. I pay for YouTube, so it plays in the background and all that stupid stuff.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. No worries. Okay. So, what do you have for us today with evidence?
The evidence for God, the
There we
evidence for creation is the exact same evidence that you see evolution in.
How so?
We have the exact same evidence. You look at it and see evolution. I look at it and see same designer. It didn't evolve. The same designer designed it, so he used the same systems all throughout the creation.
Okay. So if we're using the same evidence, the same exact evidence, and you see creation and then scientists see evolution, well, how is it possible then that we're seeing the same evidence for two different things?
that's exactly why court happens, is it not? You see evidence and you interpret the evidence. It's
Okay.
beyond a reasonable doubt, right? Meaning
Okay.
that we don't know, but we're taking the evidence and we're following it through. We're reading the evidence and interpreting the evidence. Depends on who's looking at the evidence, says what type of interpretation is going to
Okay.
come out.
Well, then that means it would be subjective then. It's just open to
It
interpretation.
is very subjective. That's what I'm
Okay.
trying to prove to you.
Okay. So if that's the case, so like if we have, so for example, you brought up the court of law, right? So if we've got fingerprints of that matches a suspect, are you saying that's subject to interpretation?
Have we ever had fingerprints that was for a suspect that matches the suspect and we found out it was planted?
Planted. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
planted evidence.
we've also had instances in which a suspect's fingerprints turned out not to be the suspect, like very rare cases, like one in
Exactly.
like 10
So
million. 1 in 10
beyond a
million.
reasonable doubt.
Okay. So
Beyond a reasonable doubt.
are you saying that so if it's 1 in 10 million chance that it could be somebody else's fingerprints, you're saying that's not beyond a reasonable doubt? What is
No, I'm
what is
saying
beyond a
that
reasonable doubt to
I'm
you? Yeah. What does beyond a reasonable doubt
okay.
mean to you?
Well, if evidence is being planted, then the statistics in what you said kind of, yeah, you get what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like somebody's breaking the normal code
Right.
of what would normally happen. So that would be the anomaly, wouldn't
Okay.
it?
How would we be able to then
Yeah.
demonstrate that the evidence was planted?
We only by looking at the evidence and following it through. We have to interpret the evidence, is what I'm saying. There's no way
Sure.
to actually prove beyond a reasonable doubt. Like that's why they use that term, because there's no way to actually say 100% that happened or this
Okay.
happened. We're looking at the evidence and we're interpreting it, and depending on
Okay.
who. What? Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish your statement. I thought you were done. Go ahead. Sorry.
Depending on who's looking at the evidence that depends on what they're going to see in the evidence, because
Okay.
we all have our biases. We're
Okay.
human.
What is an example of something from evolution that you interpret one way and then somebody else interprets another way? What's an example?
Okay, it's all random,
It's all random?
right? Evolution believes that
That's not what evolution
it-
says.
okay, can you clarify what evolution
Well,
says for me, please?
can you tell, do you know what
Oh,
evolution
okay. Yeah, I remember us having this conversation before. Yeah. So I think
No,
we
this
got,
is a different one.
well, was it? Oh, maybe it was somebody else. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. So I guess
Yeah.
we're gonna have to start with the definition of evolution.
Yeah. What do you
'Cause-
think? What define evolution for me, Drip?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, when I say evolution, I'm talking about the beginning, how things began. I am not talking about how things evolve through life that we can actually see.
That's not what
And
evolution
because I
is.
believe, but
Evolution is about
you're
how
just
things
asking me
evolve.
what it is. You're asking me to tell you what I think it is.
Okay.
So I'm telling you, when I use the word evolution, whatever the term for it actually is, I'm talking about how everything began. I'm not talking
Okay,
about
so
fruit flies going to different fruit flies, because we see that all day long. But what we've never seen is one thing turn into something so different we can say that's the explanation for how everything got here.
so
Yeah, we did get
so
into
you
this with
understand that
somebody.
that's yeah, you understand that what you're asking for is like nothing that evolution would ever say, right? So like for instance, evolution talks about how what evolution is, it's a change in allele frequencies over time, right? So what that basically means is that with every successful generation, you give you pass your genes on to the next generation, and over time, because since we're not genetic clones of our parents, we also get mutations of them. So what let's say, like for instance, let's say that my parents each had in their genes something that allowed, I don't know, for breathing in higher altitudes, right? Because let's say we lived on a mountain, and that gene gets passed on to me, but it's going to mutate it even more because mutations happen.
Yeah, and
Mutations can be either detrimental, neutral, or beneficial.
yeah, and just to kind of insert
Mutation.
It doesn't hold on, just to insert something. It doesn't say anything about origination. It just talks about mutation. That's it.
Okay, so
that's all evolution is.
Since I'm using the wrong word, what am I talking about? Can we give that a
You're
word?
talking about abiogenesis.
Abiogenesis.
Okay. Abiogenesis is not science. It is a
well,
faith.
it's the understanding that it is science.
It's
But
faith.
it's the understanding
No,
that we
it's
can
science.
that we can take inorganic chemistry and using primordial earth conditions, it can arise to organic chemistry.
Okay, so can I break it down in simplified terms how I heard it explained to me?
Sure, go ahead.
Sure.
It rained on a rock for millions of years. A ooze formed on that rock, and out of that ooze came the first living cell organism, and that gave birth to everything we see. So, like this primordial rock soup gave birth to everything. Am I correct in abiogenesis with that?
No.
Not entirely.
Well, okay.
No.
So, what's the word for what I just described?
You are looking at it's so what you're describing is a young earth creationist misunderstanding of what abiogenesis is.
Okay, so clarify that for me, please.
Misinterpretation.
So whenever it comes to abiogenesis, it uses primordial earth conditions. Now, is water involved? Yes, but we're talking about pools of water.
But is a rock involved? Is water in rock involved?
Rocks are not really involved. Like, rocks are involved in the sense that this is happening on Earth, but like it's not like rock is
And
not
it's a rock.
the main component. Like, we're not saying that
Earth is a rock
rocks
at
are
this
using-
point, and rain is hitting the rock.
Well, no. At the point of when we're talking about abiogenesis, water has been formed on the Earth already. It's not just strictly due to raining for millions of years. It's due to the
Okay,
fact
so
that
the water was carving out the rock.
No, the rock itself has nothing to do with the equation. Rocks
Okay,
are
so
only involved
water
in the sense that
plus
this is
what?
happening on Earth.
Yeah.
It's water.
Water plus what?
Plus chemistry, inorganic chemistry.
Inorganic
Where did
materials.
that come from?
Yeah, inorganic materials that aren't coming from rocks.
Okay, so we've never seen inorganic material make life. We've never seen anything inorganic make life.
Yeah, so like I said, whenever it comes to abiogenesis, we are talking about inorganic chemistry via primordial earth conditions arising to organic chemistry. That's not saying they're saying non-life to life. It's saying that we've gone from inorganic chemistry to organic chemistry.
What does inorganic chemistry describe non-life?
Organic chemistry describes like amino acids, right? Amino acids
Is that non-life?
Oh, it is
Precursor
still
of life.
It's a precursor to life.
So is it? But is it living?
Well, the whole life versus non-life thing is not a very good description. It's more of a gradient, a slow change.
Okay, so it's getting super subjective now. Y'all
It's
are
not.
kind of disagreeing with each other.
It's not subjective. We're trying to explain it to you.
Right. It's not a matter of subjective. It's that have you seen like a gradient of like red to green? There's not like a sharp line where like this part is red and this part is green. It goes just
It fades.
It's a gradient.
Yeah.
Huh?
A gradient.
Yeah,
I'm an artist.
It's a gradient, and it's the same sort of thing that was in the process of abiogenesis, where we started with inorganic molecules that slowly became more and more complex, and then eventually
Slight change or instant change is still change.
Right. So, but there's changes over time but there
That's
wasn't like a sharp
time.
boundary.
We have not seen that amount of time to make a human go to non-human. He can have all type of
Well,
mutations in his
these
DNA.
are two
We would
different
have to
things.
read his DNA to know these changes
Okay,
happen.
here's essentially what you're
these are
saying.
two different
If I could
things.
jump in, yeah, if I could jump in
Okay.
for a second. This is essentially what you're saying. We haven't had enough time to see all of these changes happen. So, are you telling me that if say I didn't believe that cakes could be made, right? Let's just say I don't believe cakes could be made, right? And a person says, well, you have to make the batter. Oh, no, I don't believe cakes can be made. Show me how that turns into a cake. You're just doing eggs and sugar and flour and salt and all that stuff and baking powder. None of that tells me it's a cake. None of that's a cake. And then they say, well, it has to go in the oven. Well, then show me how it is a cake. And so you have to let it bake in the oven for a while, and then it becomes a cake, right? It goes from batter to cake. So
Right.
you would agree with that, right? Okay. So, but see, this is it's only like 30 minutes, right? 25, 30 minutes, something like that. All right. Now, the equivalent of what we're trying to explain to you is if I said I've never seen a batter go from batter to cake, but see, I've never actually watched the process of it baking, right? So now think of that 25 minutes it would take to bake a cake and all of these ingredients that we're talking about now forming into an organic life form. But instead of 25 minutes, hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. Instead of it taking 25 minutes, it takes millions of years, right? Yes,
You
you're
can't
right.
prove the millions of years.
Can't prove the millions of years. However,
You have to believe it. What I'm saying is,
okay,
I'm not saying it's wrong. Listen to what I'm not saying it's wrong.
I'm not finished. You got to let me
believe.
finish. I understand. You
Okay,
got to
go
let me
ahead.
finish, though. You got to let me finish. Okay. So let me land the plane real quick. So yes, you're right. It takes millions of years. Okay. Now, the research that we have done, we have gotten to that doorstep of millions of years. And what we have observed is that we have gotten to the point of protocells, okay? And it's going to take a long time for protocells to develop into actual living cells, okay? And that's like
So
one
we
of the
have to
last
believe.
step or two. Okay. So you're absolutely right, but that's not faith. And here's why. It's not faith because we have all of this other evidence that tells us that protocells become cells because we have seen it in other areas of biology, of microbiology. Okay. So that tells us, okay, if you've got protocells and we've seen these turn into cells, then that tells us not that we watched it from protocell to cell, but we saw it like at the moment it turned from protocell to cell. We were there for that moment. Okay. So
What
then
if
that's
something
reasonable
quantum
for us.
happens?
Okay, but we don't know that for 100% sure.
And
I
what if
agree
something
with you.
quantum happens that we don't understand, and and that proto cell pops into something
Okay,
completely
well then,
different that we never imagined?
okay, but then you're going to have to tell us what that is, and you're going to have to demonstrate to
I
us
know
that there
what I'm
is
saying.
something.
What I'm saying is, it's all something we have to
Okay.
believe in and have faith
Okay.
for. We can't know.
We don't
Okay,
have to
so
have
then,
faith for it, though.
then tell us because you said
Belief,
that this.
then.
Okay,
Belief.
hold on. You said that the evidence that you look at. So we have this protocell to cell evidence, right? This protocell evidence. We've gotten to the doorstep with protocells. You're saying you look at that and you see creation. So tell us
Yes.
how it goes. So tell us how creation explains it going from protocell to cell. How does it do that?
I don't have to explain how it happens. All I have to do
Well, you
is
kinda
explain
do.
that, hey, the computer. No,
Because
the
we
computer
can explain
was
why it goes from
designed. I don't
protocell
know
to
how,
cell. We can explain
but
that.
I can
I already
prove the
told you we've
computer was
observed that.
designed.
Okay,
I can
but
prove the computer was designed, not understanding computer design. I'm not
okay, that
telling you
does
I
that doesn't fl-
understand
that doesn't
Earth
track.
and
No,
life design. I'm just telling you, I think it was
this
designed.
doesn't track. This
Okay,
doesn't track,
it's
though.
it's not an
This
equivalent.
this
It's a
tracks
false equivalence.
100%. I
That's it's
believe
false
it was
equivalence.
designed.
That's fine.
I
You
don't
can
have
believe
to
it's design.
understand the
That's
design.
fine. You can believe it's design. But see, that's the thing. We scientists understand why it goes from protocell to cell. Okay, they
But you can
understand
be a
that.
non-scientist and believe the car. You can be a non-mechanic and believe your car was designed.
Yeah. Well,
That
because
doesn't
cars are
make any
designed.
sense. That's what
Because
doesn't
cars,
track.
but cars are designed. All right, we have evidence of that. We
But
know they're
exactly.
designed.
But I don't. So I can understand a car was designed. But
Mm-hmm.
okay, so now if I look at stuff, look at everything that was designed, I can be like, okay, that was designed.
But that's
I can
again,
tell
that's a false
because
equivalence. You
things
can't
were put
compare.
together,
You can't compare a cell to a car. You can't. Those two.
where there's
They don't.
design,
They don't.
But where there's
That's a false equivalence.
design, there's symbiosis. Everything works
How do you know?
together.
How do you
There's
know
a system
that?
within it.
What is your
Let's say
evidence?
that
Because I'm looking at everything that we design.
Everything. Okay, but except
Everything that we design, there's a
show
system to
the
it.
symbiosis between. Show the design. As I said to you, you said you look at everything and you see it. Well, then show the design
a car
from protocell
has a
to
million
cell.
pieces put together to be a car.
If you see it everywhere, show the protocell to cell design. You have to demonstrate that.
That would be me understanding every part in the car. I don't know what you just introduced to me what a protocell is.
Okay,
let me see if I can try to explain this.
But now
hold
you
on,
would
hold on.
have to prove also that
Tammy.
it wasn't a designer.
Why do we have to prove
the
that?
same evidence.
Okay,
The
so then
same
you're going to
evidence
have
that
to.
you're
Okay,
talking
it goes
about
the
is
same
same
way.
evidence that I'm using.
You're going to have to
We're
go the
both
same way.
fake.
Then you have to prove that it wasn't evolution. You have to prove
It's a
it.
belief. I don't have to prove a belief.
Okay, so you
system.
don't.
All I
You
have
don't
to do
have.
is believe it.
Okay.
No,
Then why are you up here? We're
I
asking
don't
for
have to
evidence.
prove it.
Okay, but why are you up here?
And I
We're
just
asking
told
for
you
evidence.
the same evidence that you use to believe in
That's
evolution.
not evidence.
It's the same exact evidence that I use.
Okay, but that's
to
not
believe
evidence.
that this place was created and
Then
designed.
that's not evidence. Then you don't have evidence.
Then yours isn't evidence. If I'm telling you we're using the exact
Well,
same
you
evidence,
declare
and you
that.
just disqualified mine.
Because you can't
Then
tell us
yours
what it
isn't.
is. Scientists can tell you what it is. They can explain it to you.
No,
they can sit and explain it
interpret
to you.
to you and tell you what they think it is.
Okay. They can tell you based on the evidence that they have. But you can't
They
tell
can-
us
exactly.
But,
So
but
I'm
see,
telling
but
you
see,
based
here's the
on the
thing.
evidence
You
that
can't.
we have,
but you can't tell us
I
the evidence
think it
based
was
on the evidence we
designed.
have. But you can't tell us based on the evidence we have that it's creation. That's the point. That's the problem.
Yes, I can.
No, you
Okay,
cannot. I just asked
every part
you.
inside of a car. The way
Drip.
a car
I'm not
works
talking
is
about a car.
designed, right?
I'm talking about
No,
a protocell
I was
to
about
cell.
to use that as an analogy for the human
False
body.
equivalence. It's a false equivalence.
No, the human
Yes,
body
it is.
you can tell it's designed.
No, you
the
can't.
way it works, the way
It's a false
the way that
equivalence.
you have metabolic machines in your body that
All right.
carry cells from one place to another.
Then
You
help
have
me explain
the
this.
hypothalamus, the way it releases
No,
chemicals
it's a
and
false equivalence.
neuropeptide.
It's a false equivalence.
It's not a false equivalence.
It is a false
You can
equivalence.
look at the body and tell it was
Okay.
designed like I
Cool,
can
I
look at a
believe you're
car.
wrong.
Okay,
and
so
tell
then
it was designed.
point out to me alloys in the human body because we have alloys in cars. Alloys. Point
What?
out
No,
point out
that's the
alloys
false
to me.
equivalent that you're
No, it
telling
is.
me to say that the thing that was
You
designed
said-
used the same materials.
Okay. All right.
No,
You
I never said it used
okay.
the same materials. I just said it was designed.
Yeah, so if it's designed
you
like a
brought
car,
in, show me
if it's
alloys
designed
in the human body.
Yeah, if
and
it's
I'm pretty
if
sure
it's
we
designed,
do have
okay,
metals
okay,
in
you're
our
talking
blood.
too much. All right. So here's the great thing. I found a new mute button. Everybody can hear me. Nobody can hear any of the guests. All right. So you got to stop talking when I'm talking. You keep cutting me off, and I'm getting pretty frustrated here.
Ditto, you
So,
cutting me off a lot
I'm
too.
asking you if you can't. You have to provide evidence that that protocell to cell is a design. It's a creation. So I'm going to unmute you, and that's what I'm going to. That's what I want to hear from you. If you say you can't do that, well then scientists can do that for you. So you're going to have to demonstrate for us that protocell to cell is a result of creation and design. All right, I'm going to unmute you now.
Why are you asking me to demonstrate a word you just taught to me?
Let's try this again. I didn't ask for a question. I asked you to provide the evidence that protocell to cell is a design. Okay? So I'm going to unmute you again, and let's try this again. All right, go ahead.
I don't know. You just taught me the word.
Okay, so you don't know. So if you don't know, how can you say it's creation?
I never said anything about a proto cell and proto. I said everything is creation. So if it's here, it was designed.
We took you through the
If
process of
everything is,
abiogenesis. We took you
if
through the process of
everything here is
abiogenesis.
creation, then it was designed.
Okay,
That's
if,
just
but
how
you
I
haven't
see it.
demonstrated that everything is creation. You haven't
You're
demonstrated
saying if evolved. Do you understand
that. Yeah,
that?
we have a mountain of evidence for that. A mountain of
And
evidence.
you need somebody to interpret it.
Yeah.
Creation scientists look at that exact same evidence and say design, bro.
Yeah, and they're wrong.
Okay, that's a thing that we don't know, right?
No,
because
that
if
is
we knew
that
it
is a
wouldn't
thing
be
that
a
no,
debate.
because you're
Bro,
taking
if we
the
knew,
less
it
than
wouldn't be a
1%. Okay,
debate.
so you're cutting me off again.
Problem
We're
is
taking the less than 1% of scientists who are creation scientists, and they're not really scientists, who are then saying this all points to design, and you're ignoring the 99.9% of scientists who are saying no, this is evolution. You're ignoring all of them, and you're saying to the 1% who say this is creation, oh well, we've got to give them equal weight, and they cannot demonstrate that. All they're saying is that it just points to creation. So it's just a false equivalency. You cannot compare a car to a cell. It's not equivalent. You can't compare a car to a human body. Not equivalent. It's a false equivalency because you're just declaring that a human body is designed, and there's no evidence of that whatsoever.
also
Okay.
Did they
muted
copy
now.
our heart? Did they copy our heart to make the engine in a car?
No.
Did they copy our eye to make
No.
a camera? Did they
No.
copy our brain
Yeah, and
to make a computer?
And they improved
No.
on it. Yeah, and they
They
didn't,
actually
but they
didn't
improved
copy
it.
any of
So
those.
is that not proof of design?
No.
They're
Did you
designing
listen?
stuff off of it.
Drip. No, none of those things were copied. We
Yeah.
didn't copy the eye to make the camera.
Look it up, because you're about to say something you don't know. Look it up and tell me what
we
they
didn't
did.
copy it. Our
Are you-
design of
But we
cameras.
used the
our
design to
de-
design
design
our
of cameras.
own.
Our design of cameras was inspired by the eye, but we didn't copy it. Inspired by and copied are not the
Inspiration
same thing.
and copy aren't the same thing.
Leonardo
You said
da
you're an
Vinci
artist, right?
made
You're an artist,
made
right?
the wings from a bird.
You're an artist, right?
We look at nature and design things all the time.
Question on the board for you. You're an artist, right?
Yeah.
Okay, when you're inspired, does that automatically mean you're copying who inspires you?
No, but it means I can see where they were going.
There it
and take
is.
Further.
Exactly.
That's not
called
an
it.
anything. I
just
didn't
called
know
it.
that's not an anything. What I'm
that's
saying is
that's what
we
Various
can
is trying
look
to
at
say.
we
It
can
was
look at the
inspired.
human body
Yeah.
and design things off of it.
Then
that
why
work.
did we
can
why
look
did
at
we
nature
design
and design things?
Okay.
The-
So
we got natural filters, things that
All right.
filter water in nature.
How
like
far-
we can look the plants. The
how
plants
far
are
can
medicine.
we see with the eye?
All plants are
how
medicine.
far? Hold on. How far can the human eye see?
What does that matter?
The distance. How far can it see?
I don't understand why that matters.
It doesn't matter. You'll see where I'm going with it. Just answer the question. How far can a
I
human
don't
eye
know.
see? You don't know. Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Hey, Tress,
What
I think it's about a couple of miles.
Couple miles, right? Yeah, a couple miles at perfect vision, 20/20 vision, right? So
Yeah.
20/20 vision isn't perfect vision. Like 2010.
Okay, 2010. Yeah, 2010 vision. That'd be like perfect vision, right? Well, I'll agree with you on that. Okay, so it's about 2 or 3 miles, something like that, right? Hey, Various, how far can the Hubble Space Telescope see?
What does that mean?
Well, that's
more about the angular resolution than the absolute distance, because we can see a lot further.
Yeah.
Than 3 miles, but the Hubble telescope does have finer resolution. It can see a much smaller angular size than we can.
Right, at 3 miles, but it can see a lot. Like, okay, so like at 2010 vision.
So it's stronger than
So
the eye.
We can see,
By so much.
By
What does
so
that
much.
mean? That
Okay.
doesn't mean that they didn't look at the eye and design it off of it.
Hey, Various.
Oh, no,
I didn't
the
say it
Hubble
was an
telescope-
exact copy.
Hey, Various.
Actually, the Hubble telescope
That's the
isn't-
false equivalent.
Okay.
Actually, the Hubble telescope doesn't resemble the human eye at all.
Yeah, it doesn't
No, well,
resemble
he
the
brought
human
up the
eye.
Hubble. Hold on, wait.
But we
He
can
brought up
see-
the Hubble telescope. I
Yeah.
brought up a camera. I said camera. He's talking about a telescope. I don't even know why we're talking about it.
because they both use
Right. So
lenses, but
the
we
Hubble
can even use.
telescope wasn't inspired by anything we see in nature. It was
He said
entirely us.
telescope. I said camera. I don't know. I didn't say anything about
Same thing.
telescope.
It's
He
the camera.
did.
The camera's the same thing.
Right.
Camera's the same thing.
Your
No, a
point
camera and a
was that-
telescope are not the same thing.
No, your
A camera
point was
burns an
we-
image onto something
Yeah,
like
Drip,
the image is
Drip.
burned onto your retina.
A camera,
Drip.
a
Drip.
camera has the
We're
same
making-
mechanisms, closer mechanisms to a telescope than it does to an eye.
Yeah, we're making a different point. You made the point that humans are inspired by nature to design things. We're making the point that humans also design things entirely uninspired by nature and entirely of our own design.
Yeah.
But nothing okay, so we design things, right?
Yeah, we design
nothing
it to
we've
see, right?
Nothing evolves on its own.
Is
but,
the
but
purpose-
there is evolution though, right?
Is the purpose of an eye-
We use genetic algorithms to come up with better things.
Yeah.
You
we
mean
do.
genetic algorithms that we wrote, that we designed?
Yes.
To
No.
mutate?
Yeah.
We design things to mutate and grow and learn on its own, but you cannot believe that God something else designed the same
It's
thing
to,
and
it's
using
to help
a
them
different
mutate
material.
and grow faster. Yeah.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
so, like,
matter
take-
how good
take
the
the
design is,
banana.
they're showing you it's designable. It's designed.
Okay.
Well, take
Designable doesn't mean it
take
was
God's
designed.
design of the banana. God's original design of the banana was a bitter fruit that was chock full of nuts. That was like you could not eat it. Then humans sat there and said, "Hey, look at that! If we mutate this with other fruit, we could get something that's better."
All right.
And then we genetically modified the banana to be the banana we have today.
Okay. Now I want to
Okay,
stay
and now I
linear, and I
believe
want to
that
get
the
back
earth
to
was
the
cursed.
Okay, I want
and
to
that
stay
everything
linear,
we eat
and I want to
is
get
from
back
the
to the
curse
eye.
anyway. So
all right, I
what
want to
was
get back to
isn't
the
now.
eye. We're gonna get back to the eye. I want to stay linear, and we're gonna because I got Rajeezy up here who wants to say something about the eye. So if it's designed, Rajeezy, now take over, please.
Thank you, Trust.
Mm-hmm.
Drip, let me ask you a question. Is the eye perfectly designed?
No.
No.
Why would God design
So-
an imperfect eye then?
Well, I'm sure he's about to go through. I don't know. Hold on, wait. Wait.
You have no
Bad
clue what I'm gonna
design
say.
does not mean no design. It just means bad design.
Okay, why would is
So
your God
God-
perfect?
so-
oh, go ahead, Jesus.
I don't know.
therefore-
That's not my. That's
so
not what
there-
I'm here to prove. I'm here to prove that everything was designed.
Okay, but you're not proving it. You're just claiming it.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not. You can't prove evolution. All you can do is claim it. You can't.
Okay,
You
it doesn't
cannot
matter.
take me outside right
doesn't
now.
matter.
and
It
show
doesn't
me
matter if we
evolution.
can't. If it doesn't matter if we can or can't prove evolution. You're up here to prove design. That's what you're up here to
Dude,
prove.
there's either everything evolved. If there's only 50-50 coin and I flip one and it's not heads, then it must be tails. I don't know why y'all keep doing that.
It's not 50-50.
If it's
We
not,
have-
if it didn't evolve, then
Drip.
it was created.
You realize there's more than two
Either
options,
it was
right?
designed or it evolved, right?
Why do you think there's only two options?
Okay, so what are the other ones then?
No. Tell us why you think there are only two options.
Because I think what has been exposed to my mind. So the two have been exposed, the others have not exposed me.
Okay.
Drip, may I speak without you interrupting me, and then I'll give you a chance to retort?
Go ahead. Yeah, sure, sure.
Real quick. Various, can you answer that question about other options besides creation and
there
evolution?
Could
Yeah.
be some completely not understood mechanism where abiogenesis happens and just pops a new species into existence. Also, not even if we couldn't come up with a counterexample, that doesn't prove that this is a true dichotomy. The only true dichotomies are P and not P.
Yeah.
Or P
What
or
I'm
not
telling you
P.
is that they're both faith.
Because what we
you have to have faith to believe in God. You have to have faith to believe in evolution. You can't prove either
False.
one.
False.
We have overwhelming evidence of evolution.
Overwhelming evidence of evolution. Like
the
much
same
evidence. You have no
for
evidence of
evolution,
God.
I
You
say
have
is God.
You have zero evidence of God. Zero.
I say it's God. That's the only
Yeah,
difference is that one person
no,
believes in
Drip,
God and the
Drip,
other one
there's-
doesn't.
Yeah, you
We're
can
looking
say
at
that,
the
but
same evidence.
it's not true. Okay.
No,
So
there's a ton of evidence that's completely exclusive to an old Earth with evolution occurring. Well, hold on. Let me make sure I'm not strawmanning you. Do you believe the Earth is young, like 6,000 years old?
All right.
I don't know completely.
Sorry. Last point, and then we have to move on because there was supposed to be an early kick poll and I forgot to set it, but then the time is up. However, okay, I'll let this one last point go because Rajizi, you did come up here to talk to Drip, so we'll give this a couple minutes. So go ahead, Jeezy.
Again, thank you, Trust, and chat. Please bear with me; it won't take long.
Yeah.
So, Drip, you say that the eye is not perfectly designed, correct?
Okay.
So, is that a yes or a no?
Yes.
Okay. Then God is fallible.
Okay.
You don't believe that God is perfect?
I don't understand how that means that this wasn't designed. What does that have to do with the place?
Well,
what,
the question
what
is
does the
God
characteristics
perfect?
of the designer
The question
have
is
anything
God
to do
perfect?
with?
That's
No,
the question.
no. Let's say no. Let's say no.
Okay, he's not perfect.
Okay. So then, why would that explain that He created everything?
It
wouldn't. Hold on. Let me finish.
Okay.
Then how do you see creation of everything? I'll rephrase it. How do you see creation of everything through God, but He is a faulty designer? Because God, the belief of God is that He is omniscient and perfect.
Oh, okay.
Repeat that, please. I'm sorry.
I said okay. Okay. I don't know how that means that he didn't that infallible person or infallible thing didn't design something. Infallible people design stuff all the time. I mean, let's just put 1 and 1 on it.
But
you don't
we're
have
not
to be a
talking about
perfect
people,
person.
We're talking about God.
But we don't really know what that is now, do
Okay.
we?
Well, so are you? So wait. You said you're still a Christian,
I'll
right?
I'll let it go.
Yeah.
Okay, but the Christian doctrine states that He is a perfect God. So,
okay.
All right. So you're committing blasphemy?
Okay.
All right. Well, hey. Okay.
Yeah,
so we got this.
You're disingenuous, dude.
What
You're
does that? What does me
All right,
committing
we're gonna move
blasphemy
on.
have to do with me
We're gonna move on,
believing
Drip.
this place was designed?
All right, we're gonna move on. Yeah. So
There's no sense.
So essentially, we have a Build-A-Bear God. Yeah. So he's kind of built this. He's just constructed this God in his mind. So just to argue, apparently.
First, the whole reason I came up, I just wanted, for those of you out there who believe in intelligent design and believe that God is perfect, I was born with a genetic eye disorder. I have genes on my X chromosome that should not be there. Those genes are affecting my sight. So from the point of birth, my eyesight has been gradually disappearing. I'm now at a point where I basically have tunnel vision. And the end result, unless they find a suitable therapy or suitable cure, my end result will be either legal blindness or total blindness. So for those of you arguing intelligent design and a perfect creator, I need somebody to logically explain to me how a perfect creator designs something that has flaws.
You cannot question that. You cannot question that.
Hold on. Nobody told you to talk. What the fuck? You can't just come up here and start yapping. The fuck is wrong with you, man? Jesus. Like, it's like walking into somebody's house and just start talking. Jeez, nobody asked you to talk. Just give it a second. So one of the things also is, even if it was an imperfect creator, as the previous guest said, Jeezy, then see, one of the things is I did engineering for over 25 years. I did systems design, right? And if we came out with something that wasn't, and a lot of times we came out with stuff that wasn't perfect. Every time stuff wasn't perfect. Well, see, the thing is that we would go back and we would apply hot fixes. We would apply upgrades. We would apply patches. We would try to make it better. And we're not seeing that from this God. So that's the other problem, is why isn't this God that does this imperfect God, as the previous guest said, that designed your eyes, that gave you these eyes, why isn't he going back and he's applying upgrades, hot fixes, and patches? You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
agree. I've never thought about it that way because
Yeah.
I'm not an engineer, but
Yeah.
thank you for explaining it that way. That
So
gives
it's
me a
bad
whole
design,
different
it's bad engineering. Exactly. It's bad engineering, bad design. Just straight up. So, okay, Steve Sachs.
Before we move on,
Yeah.
could I make a quick point to Steve?
Okay. All right. One
Steve,
quick thing.
Yeah, Steve, beyond that just being rude, presumably your mission here is to convert people to Christianity. I'm assuming you're Christian. Do you really think that that's a good way to go about that? Come into a room and immediately start at people? Do you think that'll really make people think, wow, this religion seems to like make people enjoy life and happy and peaceful? Or do you think they're going to see that and go, wow, this guy's a dick. I don't want to listen to him.
Exactly. So just have some restraint. Mind Colossians 3. Go and read Colossians 3:12. Mind Colossians 3:12, Titus 3:2, and then come at us the proper way. But don't come in and all hot because we're having a group discussion. You don't just walk in and start saying shit. You know, you wait your turn. So, all right, I'm going to invite you on mute. And first thing I need is your age and pronouns, Steve.
I'm a male, bro.
You're a male? All right. Well,
I'm
that's
a male.
great.
Him
Okay.
and her, and him. Like I'm a male, nigga. I don't. I'm from New Orleans, brother. So at the end of
That's
the day,
fine. I know
what
plenty
I
of people
see,
in New Orleans who know their pronouns.
Okay, so just listen to what I gotta say. All right, we a
Okay,
gumbo
that's-
pot.
Okay. All right. So
I'm not. I've been writing. Just let me
hold
speak.
on. I still got questions, man.
I'm
This
gonna
is-
give it.
you-
I'm gonna.
Okay, bro, we do things a certain way here, all right? You're not running shit. I'm running it, all right? So just hang on a
Okay.
second. You'll get to say what you want to say. Just give me a second. I need
Then
your
question
age.
me.
How old are you?
I'm 37, bro.
Thank you. Okay, and which God do you believe in?
I'm all around, bro. I don't believe in
the Christian God.
I'm not a
Muslim God?
Christianity. I'm not Muslim. I believe in God and who God works for.
Do you
dude.
believe in a
Like,
mind that created the universe?
yes, I do. I feel like that there's
Okay, that's
more
good
than
enough.
more. Hold up.
Hold on.
Now you
hold on.
asking me?
I
Okay.
just asked. You just said yes. So So then we have a question up above my head. I just need you to answer that
Okay.
question. What's your best evidence that this God that you believe in is real? That's all I need you to. And then you can say what you want to say.
Okay, the reason why I believe and why I believe in is because I see things in the naked eye. Not just being from where I'm from, is because my ancestors, where they from? My ancestors from Honduras.
Okay.
I was born and raised in New Orleans, so my ancestors was Gaifana. If you don't know about the Gaifana people was never slaves, but they migrated from Africa to the, to the Caribbean.
Oh, jellyfish,
And so-
Steve. We got jellyfish. I gotta let you go. Sorry. All right. Whoever sent Jaden Judd sent the jellyfish. There it is.
No,
All right.
I was pretty compelled by the yelling and interrupting. I thought that I was like, I've never really heard the take put that way before. It made me kind of want to give my life over to Christ.
Yeah. Didn't that want you to? Didn't that like force? Yeah. That just gave serious consideration to converting right there and then, right?
It gave me pause. I'll tell you that.
I
Definitely
love
gave me
when
some pause.
I love when people burst into my living room and shit all over my floor.
Just shit.
You
and
cannot
stuff.
question that. You cannot question that.
It's a sign of dominance, and so I'm like, oh wow, this man must really believe in God, and I must follow him too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, sign me up. Sign me up for this God.
To come in and shit all over the floor, you think we would have noticed the pants around the ankles running in, but I guess not. I don't know.
Exactly. So just, wow, that's just wild stuff. But, yeah, I mean, I think it just shows a fundamental misunderstanding with evolution and abiogenesis. Like, first of all, we like the previous guest, we confused abiogenesis and evolution. So we had to clear that up. And then just to call it all faith is just wild to me. Okay, Queen Bolden. Oh, yes, from yesterday. Okay, we'll bring Queen Bolden back. is we had something and then Queen had like a bunch of calls come in and all right. Hey Queen, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Hey, we're doing well. Now your Samsung Galaxy, it's all good now? Is it gonna make a whole bunch of noise today and all that?
Yeah,
I
my
mean,
grandchild came. I had to, I got
okay, well if it
interrupted.
has to, it has to.
You
Okay.
know
Well
what?
hopefully
I just,
yeah,
I
hopefully it
just
won't
kind of
do
wanted
that.
to respond to the previous guest because I can see you guys don't really want to know God. So I wanted to respond to the guy who had the eye problem.
That's
Yeah,
not
y'all don't
true.
want to know God. Oh,
How
it's
do you know that?
absolutely true.
How do you know
Oh, it's
that?
absolutely true.
How do you know that? How do you
So
know that?
look, just
Wait,
let
hold
me
on, hold on.
respond.
Queen. No, wait. You can't just throw out an accusation like that and just gloss over it. Tell us how you know it's true that we don't want to know God.
Does man own all the answers?
I don't know what that has to do with my question.
Oh, it has everything to do. Why are
Okay.
you guys trying to attack believers for not having all the answers when you don't have all the answers?
We're not attacking
That's
believers for not having all
that's
the
all I gotta
answers.
say. But listen, I just wanted
So
to say something to the man who has
the problem that we have is how can you be so confident in your answers if you don't have them?
Says who?
Why can't you just say I don't know?
Do
Okay.
y'all say what y'all don't know?
Yeah, we say it all the time. We've been saying it all
I've
day.
been listening. All
Yeah.
y'all do is intimidate people and criticize them. You know
Oh,
what?
Queen, let's
The
not crash out on me.
definition.
Okay. Answer
I'm
me
not gonna
this.
crash out. I'm
Answer.
not trying
Okay.
to.
Thank you.
Can I
Answer me this.
just- can I
Answer me
just
this.
respond to the-
Okay, hold on. Answer me this, and you can say what you want to say. How confident are you that God is real? Like scale is 1 to 100, 100 being 100%. Okay. All right. Okay. Say what you got to say, and then I got a follow-up question.
Okay, so the guy who had the eye problem, right?
Mhm.
I would say this, right? When God made humans were perfect, but sin came into the world and it
Okay.
messed up our DNA, which is why
Okay.
Noah, the situation with Noah happened, which is why the city of Sodom and Gomorrah was burnt up. There's a lot of consequences to sin, right?
Okay.
It's a lot of consequences to sin. And the Bible says that anything that's not of faith is sin.
Okay.
So everything that we do that pertains to sin is because we lack faith
Follow-up
in
question.
our Creator.
Follow-up question.
So
Follow-up question. Hey, hold on. Follow-up question.
I'm
You gotta
almost
stop.
done with the response to the man. I'm almost done.
We're
So I
preaching.
would say,
We're preaching at this point. Hold on.
no,
No
I'm not
preaching.
trying to preach. I'm not trying to preach. But he has a question. He has a concern about his eyes, right?
Yeah, you say
So
explain to
I
him
just
how
want
this is it, but you're saying it's because
So, brother,
because of
whoever you are that have a problem with the eyes, somewhere in your DNA, there are some situations that happen. But your creator, if you go to him and ask him to heal you of that, he will if you have faith. Don't
Okay.
ask too many questions because everything is not meant for our little small
You
minds.
you shouldn't blame someone's blindness on themselves because now it's just
I'm
going to
not
be you
blaming.
don't
I
have enough
said
faith for
DNA.
your
DNA.
blindness
How
to go
is
away.
DNA our fault, sir?
Wait,
Is
hold
DNA
on,
our fault?
Queen. Hold on, Queen. Hold on. I got a question for you. Now, you have faith, right?
Yes.
Okay. I got a bag of mustard seeds here. Oh, wait, another jellyfish. We got to let you go. Sorry, Queen. Come back another day. All
Thanks
right.
for the jellyfish.
Where did the jellyfish? Wow.
I don't remember, but
See, and now this is like one thing that people need to make note of too. When you start saying that he'll heal you or he'll do this or that for you as long as you have faith, people who believe that are undergoing a lot of stress and kind of like self-loathing because they don't get whatever they want and they think it's a problem with them. Like if you're blind or something, or you're going blind, like the other guest. If he were somebody who believed that he would get
Mad
whatever he
Maxie.
asked for so long as he had faith, that's him blaming himself
Exactly.
because of this faith. He's like, I'm inadequate, so I don't get to see. That's what God has decided.
Exactly.
Right? It's like it's not their fault.
Exactly right. Yeah. Exactly right. Hey, Saints Unite. How's it going?
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
Not too bad.
Hey, can I get your age and your pronouns, please?
I'm 20 years old, and I am a man.
A man? Okay. Do you, for the
Yeah.
pronouns you use, do you use she, her? Do you use he, him, they, them?
I suppose he, him.
He, him. Okay. Fantastic. All right. which God do you believe in? Saints Unite. So it's the Christian God?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. What's your best evidence that God is real?
I'd say maybe the existence itself testifies to God's majesty and
Existence itself?
an intelligent mind. Yeah. So the universe itself, how it came about from in a finite amount of time from the Big Bang, we can assume that the universe had a beginning. So then,
Well, you're in luck. We have a physicist here on the panel here who can kind of go into that. So why do scientists not all think, or actually majority of them say that the Big Bang says nothing about the beginning of time? Why do physicists say that and disagree with you?
I'm not 100% sure, but do they resort to the multiverse explanation or something
Lots
like
of
that?
different explanations, yeah. But
Yeah.
what they will say, a large majority of them will say that the Big Bang says nothing about the start of time or the start of reality, start of existence. So yeah, they have all kinds of different reasons, but what they can tell you, Big Bang doesn't say that. So why would they say that if that wasn't true?
Well, I'd say it definitely opens up the possibility of lending some sort of credibility towards a theistic perspective.
How so?
Yeah, because
So if the universe always existed, that increases the
yeah, I would
credibility
say
of theism? Why?
no. I would say if it always existed, then that would decrease the probability. Just the fact of it potentially having a finite existence
Okay.
brings about the possibility that a non-physical causation caused the universe to come about.
Well, how so?
Because obviously it couldn't be a physical thing that caused the physical Big Bang to come about, so it would have to be a non-physical thing. And then
What do
if
you
you
mean?
say that,
Why so?
Actually, there are
to God,
theories.
basically.
There are theories where the universe has a finite beginning, but it's the result of, say, like colliding membranes in a higher dimension under string theory, where our universe that we're in, is finite, has
Result
some
of that
definite beginning to time within it. But the membranes or the membranes in string theory, we wouldn't yet know if those are eternal or finite.
Yeah. So we have theories on that. I mean, so how is it like a done deal for you? Like it's like how confident are you that it has to be a creator? If the universe is finite, it has to be a creator. How confident are you that's true? Like on a 100% scale, 1 to 100% scale.
I'd say that adds into one of the factors that kind of like form the proof, the substantiation for my belief overall. So that's not the only thing.
Okay.
So I'd say Christianity itself, the Bible, its consistency within itself and how it was written, Jesus and the prophecies he fulfilled, and then the kind of the potency of Christianity compared to other religion out there.
Okay.
Makes an impact.
All right. So let's take one thing at a time. So you said the Bible is consistent.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
personally, obviously a Christian, I hold that there's no contradictions in the Bible.
There's no contradictions in the Bible. Okay.
Yeah.
And so when people point out contradictions, I'm sure people have pointed out contradictions to you before. What do you have to say about those?
I would say that their interpretation of a certain verse would be misfounded, and they'd have the incorrect interpretation.
Okay. And
What
now,
about?
go ahead, Amy.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about say like the Jesus' birth, right? We have two different narrations of this. One in Matthew and one in Luke.
Yeah.
And there's a 10-year gap there in between those two events. Like, which one's correct?
Could you like specify the verse maybe?
Yeah, we'll bring up the
Yeah.
verses for you. So,
In Matthew 2.
hold on.
in Matthew
Let
2,
me put it
verse
up
1.
here. Yeah, here, let me put it up real quick. Duplicate. Yeah, it's Matthew 2 and then Luke 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay, give me just a second, everybody.
Once he has it pulled up, I'll go into the explanation.
Yeah, it's
out loud for everybody.
We'll just go 1 through 5. Yeah, we'll do 1 through 5, and then Luke 2 is
1 through. I think it's about the same.
like,
1 through 5.
Yeah, about 1 through 5. Okay.
Yeah.
1
So
through 5. So we'll do Matthew first, and okay. So Matthew is right here, and here, let me make it bigger so everybody can see it.
So what Matthew 2 right here is saying, it's talking about that in the time of the king. Do you want me to just read it, or do you want to just go on and say what it says? All right, so Matthew 2, it says, in the time of King Herod, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem, asking, where is the child who has been born King of the Jews? For we observe his star in the east, and have come to pay him homage. When King Herod heard this, he was frightened. Oh,
sorry, I had to highlight that part, and I'm not making an account on Bible Gateway.
He was frightened, and all Jerusalem with him. And calling together all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Messiah was to be born. They told him, in Bethlehem of Judea, for so that has been written by the prophet. So we have King Herod here, right? This has Jesus firmly in the ruling of King Herod. King Herod, his unalivement, using TikTok-friendly words, happened around somewhere between 4 and 6 BCE.
Yeah. Can you stop right there, Hammy? So sorry.
Yeah.
Saints United, is this true?
Oh, sorry.
So what we're reading, this is Matthew 2. Is this true?
Yeah, so he was born in the
4 BCE.
In the days of
King Herod.
this hasn't been brought up to me, so I'm new to this thing. So,
we can factually pull when King Herod existed. In fact, we can use one of a source that a lot of theists use. We can use Josephus. Josephus is the source for when King Herod was alive. I can pull that book up if you want. But we know that King Herod died in 4 BCE, as Hammy correctly pointed out. So is it safe to say, according to this, that means that Jesus had to have been born at least at 4 BCE or earlier, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Okay.
Great. So now we're going to move to Luke chapter 2. Right? And in Luke it says, in those days a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all that world should be registered. This was the first registration and was taken while Quirinius was governor of Syria. All went to their own towns to be registered. Joseph also went from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to the city of David called Bethlehem, because he was descended from the house and family of David. He went to be registered with Mary, to whom he was engaged and who was expecting a child. So, this here has this under the first registration.
Sorry to interrupt. Sorry, Hammy. So sorry. Okay, so Saints United, is this true? He's cheating. He's going to look up the apologetic.
Oh, he's looking it up.
He's cheating. Yep, he's cheating.
Oh, he's looking. I can tell you right now, Saints, to avoid the hassle, the common apologetic for this is that this particular census that's being taken is not actually whenever we know it to be taken. They're going to say that there's multiple censuses taken in between the time of King Herod and the time of Quirinius, and that the census that is being spoken about here happened to fall in the same time as the one during King Herod.
Yeah.
However, we know for a fact that Quirinius was not governor of Syria during the reign of King Herod.
Yeah.
So there is not going to be any apologetic that you can actually come
All right.
across. They'll explain this.
Yeah.
So
I
back to
mean,
the question: is this true? Yeah.
what do you mean? Like, what's true about it?
This verse that is Luke 2, verses 1 through 5 true?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now we have an issue here, because if the previous verse of King Herod is true, which happened in 4 BCE, we know that Quirinius's census, which is when Mary is to be expecting the child, happened in about 6 CE. So for the Christians, it goes from BC to AD.
Sorry, one tiny point of clarification. It's just that Quirinius was governor of Syria starting in 6 CE. That we know from
yes.
Josephus. From Josephus,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's at
So-
least 6 CE. It could have been later, but at least.
For shits and giggles, let's say that the very second he became governor, here comes Caesar Augustus, like, hey, I need you to do a census, right? So let's just say, for shits and giggles, so at 6 CE, that's still a 10-year gap between King Herod, who unalived in 4 CE, and this census being taken in 6 CE. So when was Jesus born? In 4 BCE or 6 CE?
Either. Like,
Yeah, which one? It can't be both, right? Unless Mary was pregnant for 10 years.
yeah.
Yeah. So which one is it? Because you said both are
It's
true, so
obviously
they both
so.
can't be true,
I mean,
right?
Jesus is a historically attested figure in non-Christian circles, so we know he existed.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
not
just
about
pointing
that.
to the validity of the text
Yeah,
itself.
so
right?
you led with the premise, you led with the statement
There's
that there
no
are no
contradiction.
contradictions in the Bible. So what we're asking, and this is, you would agree, this is a contradiction, right? Because Jesus could not have been born both in 4 BCE and 6
Yeah.
CE. Now, technically, it's really a law of excluded middle violation, but I mean, here nor there. We're not going to
I
split
don't know
hairs.
what that is, but
Okay, well, yeah, we won't split hairs. But we have two competing facts here, right? So which one of these? So they both can't be true. You would agree with that,
so
right?
from my current lack of knowledge standpoint, I would say that this is our understanding of the representation of the verses that creates an apparent contradiction. But
Okay. Well,
once we
clear it up
understand,
for us.
then
Yeah,
there
we're
won't-
asking you to clear it up. So help us understand how possibly Jesus could say appear in the time of King Herod. All right, how it could possibly say that, and King Herod asking when this Messiah was to be born, and then an entire 10 years later, Quirinius was governor of Syria. So what understanding will clear this up? What context will clear this up?
It's kind of hard to do research at the same time as like, so like it's incomplete historical data and translation complexity.
Incomplete? What's
But that-
incomplete about this? Because we have records of
historical
Quirinius
data
being
related
governor of Syria. We have records of this. We have records of this. We have verification
Romans
of this.
were, just to be clear, Romans were meticulous at
Very
keeping
meticulous, yeah. So we know this happened, and also Josephus recorded this. So Not only did Josephus record this, but we also have other documents that demonstrate that Quirinius was governor of Syria at the time. He was the governor of Syria. And then we also have records of King Herod being king of this area in 4 BC, and we know he died in 4 BCE. We know this.
We can even tell you which Caesar appointed him king of Judea.
Mm-hmm. We know this. So it's what we're trying to understand. If the Bible has no contradictions, how do we clear this up?
So you got the multiple censuses theory.
Yeah, I told you about that.
Yeah.
So the problem is like we can sit there and say, yeah, there was multiple censuses taken. However, this particular census was taken when Quirinius was governor of Syria, and we know for a fact Quirinius wasn't governor of Syria until at least 6 CE.
We know for a fact that it wasn't during King Herod's time. In fact, we know that Quirinius, at the time King Herod was king, he was actually serving somewhere else. He was a soldier. So that we know. So it's not possible that these two could have ruled at the same time. It's not possible. Yeah, it doesn't. So the only.
What would you say about local versus empire-wide like registration? So Luke referring to like a broader registration process.
Well, the registration isn't the issue. It's the time that these two rulers were in power. That's the problem, because we have Quirinius at 6 CE, and then we have Herod in 4 BCE. It's a 10-year gap. So it's not the issue is not the census. It's the time that these two were actually ruling.
And what would you say about the emphasis of the Gospels? So, like, for example, Luke having more of an emphasis on, like, the historical setting and the wider in world, and then, like, Matthew,
so
more on the, like, Jewish audience. And
so are you saying that Matthew is incorrect here?
Like, the emphasis on them causing the
Since I can get behind you on Matthew being incorrect. I mean, this is also the one that talks about zombies coming back whenever Jesus is, up on the cross, right? This one has a lot of more fantastical stories that seem to be more mythologically based than actual historically based. But the problem is that you can't hold that Matthew then is correct, and then that's when Jesus was born, if you're going to say that Matthew is actually incorrect, right? So if Matthew is correct, then we need to understand why there is this apparent contradiction. If you want to say that Matthew is incorrect, then cool, then sure, then this is all made up. That part is made up for mythology reasons, and we're good. We're golden.
Yeah, but it would mean that there is a contradiction. So can't be not a contradiction and this be wrong.
Yeah, so I couldn't accept that. I have to fully accept that everything in Scripture is infallible and part of God's design.
Okay. Okay. What part of God's design is this then?
Yeah, so I'll have to. So I've found what I could so far, but I'll definitely do my own research into this. But maybe let me think. Yeah, I'll see my own research into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so do you want to? Okay, so you want to table this one? You want to do some research on that one? Do you want to?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to look at another contradiction?
Are we doing the Samuel one?
I think I might personally I want to focus on this one right now. To be honest, like.
Oh, okay.
I can mute myself and then come back, or I can.
Sure. Yeah. So what I would do though is I would avoid like answers in Genesis, got questions, those type of sites, because we'll just shoot. Yeah, we'll shoot all those down. We've already heard these before hundreds of times, so that's not going to get you anywhere. But so maybe find like a historian or a like a Bart Ehrman type scholarly not West Hub. No, we've seen all those too. We shot all those down.
Yeah.
Like maybe a Bart Ehrman or maybe a Dan McClellan who's on TikTok, or like an Aaron Higashi, one of those type of scholars who will give you like an explanation of why this is. Yeah, but okay. Do you want to?
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Appreciate you. Hey, all right. Have a good one. All right.
Man, I didn't even get into the whole entire discussion about Jesus even existing.
Yeah, right. We didn't even get into that, and I wanted to get into like the crucifixion.
2 Samuel. Oh, I thought you were going to go with 2 Samuel.
Oh no, that's the moral part. But
yeah, well, the God versus the devil giving the order to go count the Israel.
That's a good one.
Samuel, right?
Oh yeah. That one. That's a good one. Versus, but I was going to do the entire crucifixion narrative. I like doing that one.
Yeah,
I love
that one's
doing
a good one too.
Yeah, I love just doing that entire thing. Like there's just contradictions abound in that. But yeah, we do like a respectful op. We do. But yeah, but it's just interesting that you just said, well, I have to stick to it being infallible and inerrant. Must be inerrant. Yeah. So I'm gonna go look for things that tell me that it's inerrant.
Uncle Adam asks me and says, I'd like asking if God was pleased with Jehu.
What's up, monkey boy?
Yo, what's going on?
Hey man,
You
we're
saw
just chilling.
We're partnered for the episode.
Oh, for real? Oh, for Truth Wanted? Are you talking about that? Word, right on, man. That's dope. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell everybody. Because I just found out like yesterday. So me and Monkey Boy are gonna be hosting the May 8th episode. That's a couple Fridays from now, a few Fridays from now. The May 8th episode of Truth Wanted. So mark your calendars. Yeah, mark your calendars, folks.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Is
I'm
Dan
gonna
taking a break?
On the flow of callers, I hope it's good.
Yeah, same here. Dan, they just said Dan wasn't available for the 8th, so they asked me to like, yeah, the producer just like, hey, do you want to do one of the two? And I'm like, yeah, I'll take the 8th. So this is dope, monkey boy. I'm excited, man. This is dope.
Yeah, word. You've been on
super
before,
excited.
no?
Yeah, I've been on Truth Wanted one time before with the Objectively Dan, and it was chill. It was much easier than this. I'll say that. So much easier than this. It's so chill. Yeah. And yeah, so man, this is exciting. I'm really excited now. I am super excited. This is
Well,
so
the thing
dope.
about call-ins like that is like they're more sincere. Like you get too much trolls on TikTok. They just come on, say stuff they shouldn't, and then leave, get you banned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Because
exactly.
on the other way, they have to give their name, their number. It's like too much. It's just more serious people.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the last time I was on there, I got in a nice long discussion about fine tuning. It was pretty cool. But the guy was, yeah, like you said, the guy was like way more sincere. He wasn't like, he wasn't like double, triple, 4x, 4, 5, 6, 7x down. You know what I mean? He was just like, oh yeah, I didn't even think of that. You know what I mean? It was like, it was way, way chill. So that's what I mean. It's like, it's so much easier than here. Yeah. So you're going to have fun. You're going to enjoy it. And like pre-production is all like, we fucking grab ass and joke around and shit. So it's cool.
Your word.
Yeah. It's really chill. Hey, you want to stay up for a guest?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. I got one in the queue. Ogarino, how's it going?
Yo, hit me up, my dude.
Hit you up, you dude. Okay, hold on. Yeah, we can do that. Hey, what's your age and pronouns, bro?
I'm 20 and it's he, him.
Cool. All right. Which God do you believe in?
The Christian God.
Right on. All right. What you got? What's your evidence?
Yeah, well, I was just wondering if you are making the claim that the Christian God doesn't exist.
Me?
Yeah.
I can make that claim. I'm just asking for evidence, but
So-
we have people here on the panel who will say that. And I'm pretty strongly in favor of the Christian God does not exist.
Oh, really? Do you have an argument for that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, hit me up, my
Now,
dude.
all right. So now of course, you've got the burden of proof here because the question is up above my head, right? So you got something for that?
Well, when you say burden of proof, I mean, like if you're making a claim, seems like you're making a claim that the God doesn't exist.
Well, I wasn't making a claim. I'm asking for evidence. I said, but I
It seems like you
could
did
make a
say
claim.
that.
No, that's not what I said. I said I could make a claim, but I'm not. I'm
So
asking for evidence.
you're saying something very trivial that it's possible that you can make a claim as opposed to making the claim?
No, what he's
Because you're a
asking for
spineless
is what's your
coward,
best
antichrist.
evidence that it
Okay.
exists.
So you're just the antichrist.
So,
right?
okay. So
No.
are you serious or are you just trolling?
Look, don't bullshit me is all I'm saying, right? You
Okay.
clearly were saying that you were making the claim that God doesn't exist. Now,
When did I say
I
that?
agree that
When did I say that?
I agree that you said the words I could make the claim, but it's very clear that, just given context clues that you're making
Where?
the claim that God doesn't exist.
Where am I making the claim?
Where?
When you say that I could make the claim that God doesn't exist, right? It seems like
That's
you
not
you know,
the
are
same as
you're
saying I
staking
am
out your
making a
belief.
claim. I said
Do
I
you agree
could.
that so you're just making a trivial claim that you could make the claim that God exists? That's all you're saying.
So are you here to cry or are you here to talk and
Are
give us
you here
evidence?
to bullshit? Are you here to
he's
bullshit
here
and
to
be the
turn-
Antichrist?
All right.
Look,
You're
this
the
guy's
one
the
who's
Antichrist.
bullshitting. You're the one
You're
bullshitting.
bullshitting me right now.
See, this is the
Because
cool
the
thing.
thing
I
is,
can
is-
motherfucking mute everybody and see nobody can hear
Yeah, and
your
you can
ass
bullshit
except
around.
nobody except yourself. You can't. Nobody can hear
And
you
you're
right
just
now,
up
bro.
here
So
bullshitting.
just keep talking.
You're just up here
So
bullshitting.
here's the deal. Now, unfortunately, the rest of my panel can't be heard either, but nobody can motherfucking hear you. All right. So if you're gonna
Cut the
try and talk
bullshit.
over me and do this bullshit, I mean, we can keep doing this all day. But I'm just gonna mute you and I'm gonna start asking you questions, and you're gonna only answer my questions. That's how
Look,
this shit
you're
goes.
just-
You
you're
don't run
bullshitting
shit
me
here,
right now.
all right. So
You're a
you gotta get
bullshit
that through
guy.
your head. I'm daddy. You're not. You got it? We clear on that? I'm gonna unmute you, and you can only answer this. He left. Exactly. He left because he found out he's got no power here. You got no power here.
The funniest thing is that he wasn't here in good faith, because the simple fact is that whenever you said, "Hey, I got a question up here. What's your best evidence that God is real?" Instead of saying, "Oh yeah, I got the evidence. Here we go,"
Yeah.
he sat there and said, "Well, let me ask you: are you making the claim that God doesn't exist?"
Yeah,
and the
exactly.
very second you said, "I could," he's like, "Oh, well, what's your evidence? What's your evidence?" So he didn't want to provide evidence.
Nope.
Because he
didn't
knows
have
he
any.
can't.
Yep. He didn't have any. The mute don't work. Oh, you could hear him? Oh, okay. I couldn't hear him. My bad. Okay.
I could hear him.
You
But
could hear
I
him?
was. The
Okay.
thing is I was being quiet because I was like, I don't want to sit there and say something and then it
Fuck,
just
the mute
like
doesn't
contradicted.
work. Well, that fucking sucks. I'm gonna have to work on that.
Muted it for the viewers and the people in the panel could still hear them. That's why.
Yeah.
You're all like, what the fuck is Trust talking about? Trust is Trust is on something.
Yeah. So the first time you said that with the other guests, I thought because you're like, nobody
like, oh,
else
that's
can hear you
interesting.
except for I was like, okay, so only us here on the panel besides you and the audience can't hear him. But then when you said it just now, with
No, it
him,
just means I can't hear him.
You said only
All it
you can hear him.
It's only yeah. It's like nobody. Yeah. It just means I can't hear him, which is fine with me because I can just talk right over him. Yeah. Fine. It's fine with me. That's gonna be a funny clip because I'm actually gonna clip that and just I thought I couldn't hear.
But
him,
the funniest thing
yeah.
is I remained quiet as if I really couldn't hear him. So it's like it makes it
Thank you
even
all for
funnier.
being chill. I know it is funny. Yeah.
So it's
It is
the deathless light strategy. Turn
Exactly.
off your sound and just keep talking.
Exactly. Just turn off the sound, keep talking. Exactly. So, all right. We have Skylar. How's it going, Skylar?
Pretty good, man. How's it going?
Hey, good. Can I get your age and pronouns, please?
I'm like, what pronouns? What's pronouns?
You don't know what pronouns are? I, he, she,
I
it,
don't-
they, them,
I
we,
don't-
our, us.
I don't pay attention. I'm a guy. I'm
Okay.
33.
Oh, awesome. I believe in malicious compliance. So anytime I hear you use a pronoun at any point in time, I'm gonna sit there, interrupt you, and say, "Hey, nope, you can't use that because you don't use pronouns."
All right. So you don't use pronouns? All right. No pronouns. Okay. Skylar.
No, I just said I didn't. Not that I don't use them. I just didn't know what it was.
Okay. Which pronouns do people refer to you as when they refer to you that you prefer?
Just Skylar. I'm a guy, I guess.
Skylar? Nobody. Okay. So everyone
Guy,
just
the car
calls
guy.
Awesome.
I don't know.
So anytime you use a pronoun, I'm going to interrupt you and say, "Nope, sorry, you can't use that."
Right. All right. I guess we'll go with she, her. Are you good with that? We'll go with she, her.
Whatever you want to call me.
I got a
don't
niece
care.
named Skylar. Yeah, I got a niece Skylar. So, all right. Which God do you believe in?
I believe in Jesus Christ.
Fantastic. What's your best evidence that God is real?
So, so I have a kind of a different belief than really even any believers I've talked to.
Okay.
Is that I don't believe that man can prove God's existence. I believe God can only bring the understanding. So my way of explaining how to achieve proof is that, see, people will say like, so one, it's a spiritual thing, meaning that, and only if you allow the Holy Spirit to enter your body spiritually, then God will bring the understanding. So I can't talk anyone into believing. Like the whole fact of like Jesus could pop up right now in someone's bedroom and people wouldn't believe. So my thing is
Stop you right
that
there real quick. Can I stop you right there? Because the question I have is that the Quran says that only Allah brings revelation to those believers, and anybody else doesn't have the revelation. So, so that makes Islam true, right?
I don't study Islam.
Right, but that's what it says. So if they say that only Allah can give you the insight and the knowledge to know that Allah exists, that makes
Well,
Islam true,
Allah
right?
stands for God. Allah means God. So yeah.
Okay, so we should all be Muslim then, right?
No, it's not about religion. I don't believe in religion.
I understand, but that would make you. But then you would accept that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be unto him, is your prophet, and that we would do the Quranic, all the rituals that are told to pray 5 times a day, not eat pork, all that stuff.
Well, I'm just saying, like I went to, like I've been to many churches, and it wasn't until I said the words by myself in my room, accepting Christ into my heart, till the proofs were shown to me, till the understanding was brought to me.
Okay.
So it didn't work. It didn't work with any other gods until I went with that God. Like, and I grew up in a haunted house for 10 years. I've seen demons. I mean, I have testimony on testimony.
Okay.
So it's
So
like
the problem
there was
I've
only
done that.
power in the name of Christ, but the
only
understanding
power in the
doesn't
name of
come
Christ.
until you allow Him to live inside of you.
Okay,
God brings the
again,
understanding, not man.
then we have Hindu gurus who are walking on water and healing people, but they do it in the name of Hinduism. So that makes Hinduism true?
Well, anyone can get power from Satan and do miracles too.
So then when the Hindu Bhagavad Gita says that the Maya is pulled over our eyes, you know what the Maya is? It's a delusion. It's a big delusion. And so what they would say is that you're just deluded. It's actually Brahma and Krishna and Vishnu that are showing all this to you, but the Maya is pulled over your eyes, making you think it's Jesus. So they're correct, right?
Well, I think everyone holds truth.
Everyone holds true. Okay, so then Hinduism is true. So you
If
are
they
being
think
fooled.
it's
It's the Maya pulled over your eyes. So you're being deceived.
But my thing is, if I lived the same life as they lived, then I would believe how they believed. If they lived the same life that I lived, had the same exact experiences, they would believe how I believe. So I don't judge really anyone for what
How do you
they
know?
believe.
Yeah, that actually
Maybe
kind of tracks.
what if I lived your life and I still became an atheist?
Well, that's the thing is you haven't lived my life.
I know, but what I'm saying is, what if I did live your life and I still became an atheist?
Okay, then you believe what you believe because of the life you lived. I mean, it's all. I can't judge someone for what they believe. It's not about that. It's just.
Well, what we're trying to get at
I'm
is
just
we're trying to
stating
get
my
at
truth.
what's true, right? Because you would agree things are objectively true. Like there's truth, and that's objective. Like 2 + 2 = 4, right?
Exactly, and just how 2 + 2 = 4.
Okay. So
Whether
there
I
can't
don't
be
know if you
your
have or
truth,
not.
and then there can't be your truth and a Hindu's truth, especially if the two are competing.
Well, I'm
Like,
just
one of
saying.
them
I'm
is
just
true.
saying if whether you believe or not, if you went in a room by yourself with no one watching, not with TikTok off, and with no phones, and you said, "Hey, look, God, I don't even believe in you, but I'm gonna say these words." It's just like someone that doesn't believe in, if you accept the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, to dwell inside of you, and you denounce any worldly spirits off of your body, and you say, I accept you, Christ, as Lord and Savior, come live inside of me, and allow the Holy Spirit to enter me now.
Okay,
If
very
you
good.
say those words, your life will change.
Okay.
No matter, like, and you can
that.
talk to me in a year from now and be like, dude, my life changed.
Okay,
And that's
so what
the
you're
truth,
saying
and they will
then,
always hold to be the
okay,
truth.
so number one, at minimum, me, because I hear in Hammy saying been there, done that, and I was the exact same way, been there, done that. So what you're saying is, if so, me and Hammy both did this because I was a Christian for over 30 years, never worked for me. So why didn't it work for me? If I did exactly what you said to do, many times, didn't work. What happened?
Well, the glory is God's, so it's not really about it working for you. It's about God working through you.
Okay, so that doesn't really explain why it didn't work.
What didn't work?
I did
like,
exactly what
work?
you just said to do. I've done that already. I've done that many, many times. So
But
I'm trying to, and
it's
Hammy's
not-
done it
it's-
many, many times. Hammy and I've both done this many, many times. So what we're trying to ask you is, how come it didn't work for us? How come we didn't, we said, yeah, Holy Spirit, come enter us. We're ready to receive you. All the things that you said to do didn't work.
Okay.
Saw nothing.
I went as far to even say that I was in a relationship with Christ himself,
said
because
that too.
Christ was. Yeah,
well,
like
it goes just as far as saying the prodigal son. It's you guys are still his children, whether you walk away from him or choose to not believe him or not. At the end of the day,
Well, you're
God,
just saying
God
you're
will
just saying
still
like the
receive you
tropes
back to
that
him.
you're saying the tropes that the church says. We don't have any evidence of that. Like, what's your evidence that that's true?
The evidence is that you will see it in your lifetime.
Okay, but how do you know that's true?
Because you will see it in your. I've studied people that passed away and came back to life, flatlined in the hospital, everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again,
those
that
people-
that's not telling us anything. You're just saying it. It's a claim. We're asking for the evidence that it's true. How did you verify this to be true?
That's why I'm saying God will reveal His truth to you different than how
Right. And
different
I'm
than
asking
He
you,
revealed it
how
to
do
me.
you know that's true? You're just saying the same thing over and over
Exactly.
again.
Well, that's how
do
I
you
started.
know
I don't.
it's true? How do you know it's true?
I can't explain. How do I know it's true?
Yeah. How did you verify it's true?
Okay, because I've literally, like, if you want me to go down the list of proofs I've seen, like, I've seen people with heart murmurs, people with broken backs, people that
And how do you
couldn't
know
walk,
that's
healed
how do
in
you
the
know
hospital.
and how do you know that's not a result of jinn from Islam, just vexing you?
Because when I've had my Muslim friends and everything pray over them, and it wasn't until I prayed over them till healing came.
Okay.
How do you know it's not medicine?
Because the doctors literally tell me, like, there's no way this prayer is going to work. We
Why
have
are
to
the
start
doctors
surgery.
giving you? Why are the doctors giving you information about a patient?
Because I'm a patient's advocate in the hospitals for multiple people.
Well, then why aren't you at the hospital praying now instead of talking to us?
I was there yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, but why aren't you there now?
But
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm actually sick right now. I'm not going to be there.
You're sick. Okay. Well, so you're saying to me that. Well, then have you?
Just
so
pray
you're
to get
saying to me
better.
that you have literally healed? Yeah. Why are you sick? You could just pray to get better.
No, it's not about that. It's not about me
Well, yeah,
praying
it's
like
about
I'm.
that, right?
No,
No,
but
because
I'm grateful for.
If God
I'm
gave
grateful
me a
for having strep throat right now because I'm very happy that it's getting me
Skylar.
away from smoking, and so I'm not looking at being sick
You
as
should have
something
just
that.
prayed. You should have just
I
prayed
need
to
to be
get
healed
rid of
for.
your smoking. Because
Yeah, but
again, if God has given
isn't
me
making
a
sense.
gift that if I pray over somebody who is not doing well and they are getting healed, nobody on this app would ever know I existed. Nobody, because I would not be here. Anytime I got sick, I would pray to God to heal me of my sickness because of the fact that I'm trying to be out there doing His work, because clearly His mission for me is to go out there and heal everybody with the power of prayer. So nobody would ever know I existed because that's what I would be doing 24/7.
Okay, for sure. But
Okay.
it's not my only gift, so I'm not going to spend 100% of my time doing that.
Okay, so okay, so what's your goal for being here? Like, why are you here on our live?
No, my goal is just supposed simply just to say that I don't believe that man can bring understanding or truth, that it all comes from God. And
Okay,
you
so
have to have patience. You have to have patience, and you have to wait on Him.
You're just here to say that? You're not here for any other reason? You're just here to
Yeah,
say
no,
that?
not really to debate. That's it.
Okay, just not to debate, but are you here? But why would you say something like what compelled you to come up here and say that? Like you had to have a
Just as
reason to say it.
just as a messenger for Christ. Like you will
Messenger for
see
Christ.
God's
Okay.
proof.
Okay, and so as a messenger for Christ, what exactly does that mean? Like what's your end goal? Being a messenger for Christ.
It's just to let you know that whether it's now when your flesh lives or when your flesh passes, that your spirit will move on to a place where God will reveal everything that you want and think and can imagine. He will show it to you. You will have the choice with your free will whether to decide at the end of the day.
Okay, wonderful. But then what's the end goal of that? Like you're just telling us this, but what do you hope the outcome will be by telling us this?
The outcome, my end goal is to 30,000 years from now to be able to have a conversation with you, for you to be in eternity, for me to say,
for me to be in eternity. Okay.
Yes.
Do you think there's anything you could say or do right now? Because we've got a room full of people, a room full of non-believers here. Do you think there's anything you can say or do right now to make us believe you?
No, because I can't.
Why not?
I've never talked anyone into salvation. I've never talked anyone into eternity. Like I said, it's God that brings.
What if I told you that? What if I told you you can make us all believe right now?
That's great, but
okay.
That's not.
Here,
that's not.
I'll demonstrate.
Like I said, I can't talk anyone into salvation.
Right.
It's a spiritual thing.
Well, wouldn't you agree then that if you got us all to believe, wouldn't that be a big step into seeing us 30,000 years from now and having a conversation?
For sure. But again,
great.
And then it goes back to prayer. So I've already, prior to me joining this, I already prayed that you guys will all be in eternity. And I believe that prayer to be true. So
fantastic.
Satan doesn't get to win. You guys will all be in eternity.
Okay. So
I'm already
living
here in that truth.
Okay. Help me out here. So I've just told you that there is something you could do or say to make us all believe right now. And do you believe that or no?
Yeah, like I said, I already prayed that you guys will.
Okay, so then you could.
Happen. God's will happen.
Perfect. So then there is something you can do or say right now to make us all believe right now. Okay, hey, Monkey Boy, here I'm going to test it out. Monkey Boy, if Skylar here did something that demonstrated to you that God is real, would you believe it?
Yeah.
Various. If Skylar did something that demonstrated to you that God is real, would you believe it? Varys may be AFK. We'll skip to Hammy. Hammy, if Skylar here did something that demonstrated to you that God is real, would you believe Skylar?
Oh.
Would you believe God is real?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Type a 1 in the chat. Type a 1 in the chat if you saw Skylar do something right now that demonstrates that God is real. Would you believe God is real? Just type a 1. Because we're proving it to you here, Skylar. I'm verifying it for you. See, look at all these ones here. We get you. There's all these people that will believe you, that will believe, and that's what you're here to do, right? You're here to help us believe. I mean, you're following Matthew 28 verses 19 and 20. You're ministering to us, right? You're trying to make us disciples, right?
But it's just through your free will. We don't trust it's only if someone wants to,
right, but it says go and make. Yeah. You're not forcing us at all. We just said if you did something, you could save us. Our souls are at stake here, right? So it says go and make disciples of all the nations, right? And so that teach them how to follow my commands, follow and obey my commands. It says that, right? That's what you're trying to do, right?
If you had sat there and you showed us that there was say for instance, there's a patient that we can, here is the showing that this patient has cancer and it's current, we watch the patient go through all this stuff, see this patient has cancer. We watch you pray over that patient and then all of a sudden the cancer is gone. Are you kidding me? I'd be on my knees right now praying to God to give me that ability.
But that's the thing. If we look at the evidence in history, even when Christ was doing all his truths, walking on water, making the blind see and all that, people still chose not to believe. People still chose not to follow.
But we just told you. Wait a minute. Hold on. Are you calling us all liars? Are you
No,
saying we're
not at
lying?
all.
Okay, so
No, but you're
we just
saying
told you.
all.
We
but
just
I'm
told
talking
you
to you,
everybody in here will believe you. If there's something you did right now that demonstrates God is real, we all just
But
told you
how
that.
do you know everyone in here will believe me?
Because they just told you. I just showed you in the
Intellectual
chat.
honesty.
I just put it in.
Intellectual honesty. There was one person who said that they put a 0 instead of 1.
Oh, okay.
But
So
we
there's
don't-
one person, but we have a whole bunch of people here that will believe you, right? And I just went through all of my. Here, we got a new person on the panel, Jessica. Hey, how's it going, Jessica?
Hey, it's good.
All
How are
right.
you?
So I'm doing great. So if Skylar does something right now that demonstrates to you that God is real, would you believe it?
Absolutely.
Here we go. We got all these people here. At minimum, Skylar, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that you can convert right now. Right now.
And like I said, like if once I see it, there's no other. There clearly is no other explanation. So I'm going to drop to my knees and I'm going to pray to God.
And you prayed
because this is something that is miraculous. This is something that cannot be explained by any other methods.
And
I'm gonna believe.
Yeah, I kid you not. I'm scheduled to be on. Me and Monkey Boy are scheduled to be on an atheist show in like 3 weeks, right? 2 weeks. I mean, if you get us to believe, we're canceling. I mean, it's gonna happen. Like we can't be on the show. So you've got people here that you can convert right now, that you can see in 30,000 years. So are you down?
We're gonna
Are you
go
will?
on, but we're
Are
gonna
you?
flip the script.
Yeah. So like I said, the main thing, like I started with, is prayer. If you guys want me to say a prayer, if you guys give me the opportunity, the platform to say a prayer, I'll say the prayer, and God will do everything else.
Yeah, just help.
Only on one caveat. You can only do it to the people who are consenting.
Exactly. That's why I'm not just gonna start busting out in prayer. You know, that's why I would ask.
No, that's what I'm saying.
if the
I'm going
host
to
gave me-
consent to you praying for me.
I consent. Yeah.
Okay.
You can pray. You can pray for me. Jessica, do you consent?
Yep, I can.
Okay, you consent. So we've got Monkey Boy. Do you consent?
Yeah, I do.
All right. Various, do you consent? Various might be.
Okay, Various might
yeah,
still
he's
be busy.
okay. He's away. All right. So pick one of us or pray for 4 of us. However you want to do it, man. Just
Okay. Yeah. I'll just pray real quick. I'll make it quick.
all right.
All right.
But something that'll happen right now.
Okay. Dear God, Father, I pray right now, seed is being planted, Father, and I pray that you do the watering, God. I pray that over everyone that has consented to receive this prayer, that they can receive it with open arms, God. I pray that you do what only you can do, and I pray that the Holy Spirit enters the room right now, Father, and you bring the truth and understanding into their lives, that you bring people their way, and every miracle that they need to be shown, Father, that only you can do in order for them to believe in you as being the true God. I pray that into their lives right now. So I pray that right now a seed is planted, Father, right now. And even if they can't see it happening right now, that it's happening, God, and that you reveal yourselves in their life, Father, more than any man or any woman could bring into their life, God. How you revealed it to me, do it in a unique way for each and every one of them. So I want to first thank you for the host for even allowing this prayer to happen, because that usually doesn't even happen in these panels. So I just thank you, God, for allowing that. And thank you for the host just being allowing to have a mature adult conversation. And I thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Right.
I'll let you know. I even closed my eyes and raised my hands up, and I actually did like mentally open my heart, because I physically can't open my heart. Without I would literally unalive right here.
Yeah,
But,
right on.
So,
All right.
I will keep Trust updated, and if anything happens today, tomorrow, or within the next week, I will let him know.
I don't know.
How
long should we give
changes.
it, Skylar? How long should we give it? Like a week?
Yeah, hey, a day, a week. Like I said, you guys want to follow me, keep me updated. That'd be great. Yeah.
Come back in a week. Yeah, just come back
Okay.
next
Yeah,
week
come back in a
and
week.
just check in.
Okay,
on it,
yeah.
I'll make sure everybody's here. I'll invite Mikey Boy back, and I'll make sure Hammy's here, Jessica's here, Varys is here, and we'll do a checkup. We'll see what happens, man.
Cool. All right. Hey, well, I appreciate you, brother. Like I said, I feel like I've had you guys let me speak more than some other Christians that I talked to. So, I appreciate you guys. So right on.
Okay. All right. Have a good one, Skylar. Take care.
You too, brother. Take care.
I mean, we're here for evidence, right? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, keep me posted, y'all. If you convert, let me know.
I got a itch on my throat. Is that God working?
You might have caught strep throat from him.
Oh, if I caught strep throat from him through this phone, I swear, A, I'm gonna be pissed because I don't want to get strep throat.
Right.
But B, like, that would be a miracle. Like, that would be something that I would definitely be like, you know what? Fuck it. God may actually be real.
I mean, at least move the needle for me a little bit, right?
Yeah, just a little bit at least.
Jesus gave me strep throat at IHOP. Yeah, see? It happens. It happens, Claire.
Wait,
Yeah, it happens.
we're
man.
giving him a full week.
Yeah, I'm being super generous. I mean, I did say right now, but did y'all hear the out clauses he gave himself?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it should be
If you
6
don't
days.
see
I
it,
mean, if you
at
could create
least
a
like let
universe.
them know it's
Right?
seed there.
6 days. Okay, 6 days. Yeah. I'm thinking 3
That's
days.
ample time.
Yeah,
On the
that's
17th
plenty of
rested.
time, right? Although it would be a trip, Monkey Boy, if you converted. It'd be a trip. Like I'm picturing that.
Yeah.
That's a fucking wild scene.
Well, it's funny because I'm actually working on.
Would you start
a
running
video.
tag?
No, never. Not even a possibility.
I love it.
Wait, what were you saying?
He's like,
working.
look, I'll
You're
become
working
a
on what?
Christian, but I'm not running tag.
Yeah, no. I'm working on a presentation with a philosophy friend for a video. It's gonna be like I'm gonna try and make it more professional. I might get more than one friend on, but it's a video like about reasons in favor of thinking theism is impossible or non-cognitive. Like it's not saying anything meaningful to which it could even be true or false. So I
That's
hope
dope.
that's well received because I think the reasons that invite you to either thinking theism is like a meaningless position or like not even a possibility are actually strong.
Yeah, I'm with you. No, I posted my syllogism that you've seen a couple times, Monkey Boy. I posted it a couple times today, and but yeah, I just think that at least the theist version is it's impossible. I don't think it's possible. I mean, straight up, doesn't seem possible to me.
He's
But,
gonna go to church and tell all his church friends, "Ooh, I got to pray for atheists in the live. Like I'm such
Yeah.
a good Christian, guys."
right. That's I know he was giddy after that. But,
Right, that would have been me. Like, guess what? Guess how God moved on TikTok today? I got to spread the gospel.
But yeah, it's just I know some people are being like, oh man, prayer, I don't want to hear this, but you know what? I mean, it says it in the Bible. You know, if you've just got the faith of a mustard seed, you can move mountains, right? If anything you ask in my name, it will be done. I mean, that's evidence right there. So, yeah, I mean, I think we can. Hopefully, y'all can tolerate like just a couple minutes of prayer, so we can kind of get this out of the way. But hey, these are not only the co-hosts but the mods that are holding it down. So I just want to let you all know these are all of my friends, but like all of these fine people contributed. So I'm going to ask that you follow everybody up here. Follow everybody. And if you've got any coins that you can spare, Forever Atheist, Ember, and Jessica, hit them up with some coins too, because they keep everything like copacetic here. They keep everything chill. And Ember, how was your date day? You had a date day. I don't know. Hopefully I'm not like calling you out.
Oh no, you're good. It was not bad. I mean, it was good, but Bri isn't feeling well because of all of the pollen in the air. He has really bad allergies. So he's napping right now.
Okay, you had to cut it short. Okay, well, I hope it was a relaxing day for you. I know you're like, I need a day off. So
yeah, I was like, I'm super tired today anyway. So
that's all good.
It worked out.
That's all good. Yeah. But hey, I'm glad you had a good day. So, but yeah, these are the folks that make things fun around here. So, yeah. So any love you can show them, please do. And also on the YouTube side, we got Blaster Master 80, who's holding it down over there right now. We had Pseudo V Science, who was holding it down over there for a while. So, you know, also the mods over on YouTube, they deserve a lot of love too. So just want to thank you all. So last thing, who are we going to raid? Who should we raid? Any ideas?
I saw Blitz is live. I don't know if he's still live.
We can jump on Blitz. I haven't ever rated Blitz because he's never on when I'm on. So yeah, let's do Blitz, everybody. Dr. Blitz. Hey, Various. No, Various is probably still away, but that'd be fun for Various. You know, Various being our scientist here on the panel. But yeah, let's go raid Dr. Blitz. Anyone know what he's even talking about? Let's see.
I think it's flat Earth stuff.
Sorry for the delay. Looks like he's watching something. Oh, watching real time on YouTube. So yeah, folks on YouTube, you can raid Dr. Blitz as well. So yeah, let's go raid Dr. Blitz. I have never raided Dr. Blitz before. So this is he's doing a joint live with Matt Dillahunty. All right, well, let's do it. So let's just raid him anyway. Because at least his followers will like that too. He's on the line.
Hi.
Hi.
Wow, that's my oldest son.
That's your
The 9-year-old.
Hey, how you doing? Okay, well, if he's on the line, I don't know if that's a good idea. Maybe that's not a good idea. All right. You want to do Joel? Well, we did Joel yesterday, right? So
No, because he had like a OnlyFans live or something.
Oh, he had OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. Oh my god. OnlyFans.
Only super fans. My bad. I left the word out.
Only at OnlyFans. Oh, I love that.
So?
It probably is correct. Okay. All right. So all right. I guess let's just we'll do Joel. We'll do Joel. So we'll raid Joel. Joel Reads Bible. And that's on both YouTube and TikTok.
Was today the day we were supposed to raid board, or is that tomorrow?
Oh, yes, it is Wednesday.
W.
I'm so
Ember.
sorry. W. Ember for remembering my old man
No,
brain.
it is W to Lisa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we're supposed to raid board. That's right. Okay, we're going to raid board agnostic. My bad. We're going to raid board agnostic. Hey, W Tiny Science. What's up, man? Okay, we're going to head over to board agnostics live. That's right, because she was already penciled in for Wednesday. So that's what we're going to do. See, we figured it out. We're going to raid board agnostics live because
I don't know. Is she on? I don't know.
yeah,
if
she's on. Yeah, I see her.
Okay.
I see her on. Yeah, she's on with Mini Quan. So I see her on right now. So head on over there and y'all know what to do. TBV raid. So again, thank you all for a great live. And and also, yeah, one last plug. Me and Monkey Boy are gonna be on Truth Wanted Friday, May 8th. So mark your calendars. It's gonna be lit. It's gonna be lit. It's gonna be fun. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm super excited. I'm looking forward to it. So everybody, other than that, have a great Wednesday, and I will see you all tomorrow. All right. So take care. Lots of love. Good night.
Peace, y'all.
Bye.
Stop.